I see that we are live on YouTube. So if we're live on YouTube, then we must be live on YouTube.
Must be
Oh,
live.
it takes a few seconds to go through.
I don't know. Mine says live. Let me actually
See
look.
that we are live
Yep,
on YouTube.
it is live.
Yep, we're doing it live.
It's on there right now. So I'm pretty happy.
Me too.
So I am going to throw this on my Facebook, and we'll be ready to go. Did you?
Gotta do that public sharing. Share it publicly.
Yep.
Sharing this. Check it out. So this is what, number 4?
This is number 4.
Number 4.
We're slowly getting up there.
You could call this show Quattro de Moto.
All right, I just shared that to my Facebook, and I think that's all I'm going to share today. Since we are right at 7:01, oh my goodness, who are we? We're actually a little bit later than normal. That's awful. Who else needs to join us? Oh, you said that JP is going to be coming to us live
from the air. He's going to try to log in on his flight.
Oh, that's going to be cool. All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa. We have Kevin Can Fly in the background right now, and we have PPG Nick, and we also are going to have JP Tool coming in live from a flight from 20,000 feet. Well, maybe not that high, but he's going to be up in there. He's going to be joining us today. Today, our show is all about reserves, throwing a reserve, and maybe JP can actually throw a reserve while he's live and show us what it's actually like. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk with Kevin. Kevin threw a reserve on his SIV. And since this is all about reserves, Kevin, tell us about your reserve toss and how fun it was. And I bet you can't wait to do it again.
So first of all, I just want to start out by saying I did not sabotage JB for the sake of clickbait views like Sean kind of hinted at. That was not my fault. So if he does throw a reserve, that's 100% on him. Just for the sake of being publicly transparent, we would never sabotage a pilot for clickbait views.
No, we don't want anyone throwing a reserve unless they have to. But if you have a problem, definitely throw that thing.
First things first. If you ever even feel the need, the wings collapse and you look down at the ground and you don't think that you could ever even try to pump or do anything more than think, throw your reserve. If you ever collide with another pilot, throw your reserve. Those are 2 times. I'm going to start out as an instructor by saying those are immediate. Don't think about recovery, think about preservation, and throw your reserve. Getting tangled up with another guy is a bad thing.
Oh, and Kevin, real quick too, just in case we have people here that's never come here before. Tell us all about yourself and your school and everything, real quick.
So I'm Kevin Can Fly, as a lot of people know. I've been flying paragliders for about 5 years. I've moved my way through the rating systems, and I've debated being an instructor of paragliding, but the USHPA program charges some money, and there's some insurance and things that prohibit it. But I started flying PPG a little over 6 months ago. I've put, a lot of hours. I don't even remember because I don't log them. A lot of hours in the air. And in the process of doing that, I've taken SIVs and now have instructed students into the air. So I've kind of seen it from both sides. And when I took my SIV, I've done 2 SIVs. One of them, let me rephrase, both of them were paragliding SIVs. Neither one of them were for paramotor specific. But the principles, as my view sees it, is still kind of the same when it comes to collapsing the wing, recovering the wing, all that kind of stuff. I was a spirited pilot, if you want to call it that, when I came out of training. My instructor viewed me as the kind of guy who was going to go and learn infinite tumbles. And it was never my intention. I just grew up riding dirt bikes, so I have what I like to call danger commitment. When I decide that I'm committed to doing it, I commit 100%. And I kind of do it a little bit blindly and sometimes foolishly. So he thought it would be a good idea for me to just go straight away, right out of training, straight to SIV, because he kind of thought I would be that kind of guy that would go out and push the bounds. And, I kind of am. So I went and I did an SIV with a gentleman named Matt Senior, and that was a fantastic trip. We went out to the lake. I forget the name of it. It's here in Washington State, and went up, did the collapses, did the spirals. Didn't do any acro, so I didn't do sats or anything like that. But it was the first time around was just a full collapse recovery. Get to know how things go when they go wrong, kind of an SIV course. The second one I did with Brad, and that one was a little more in depth. That was a little more wing overs. That was a little more radical stalls and stall recoveries, stuff like that. And the last flight was, hey, you should throw your reserve so you know what it feels like. And why not, right? And like, it's a joke because a lot of people don't know what color their reserve is. It comes out and they look up and they go, oh, it's yellow, because the diaper is white. They think that their reserve is white. And when it actually comes out and opens, it's actually a yellow reserve or a red reserve. And they're kind of like, wow. So in no harm fashion, I grabbed the handle, and in one smooth motion, I got the reserve all the way up across to the handle to my collarbone. And right about the time I got my handle to my collarbone, everything just trickled down and out of the diaper, out of my chest and lap, and trailed off behind me. And there was no such thing as a throw. I didn't ever throw the reserve. And it kind of baffled me. And this is something that I've talked about with other pilots off of the show, is when you expect the reserve to come out and work and operate a certain way, that it's a false expectation, because every single reserve deployment is always going to be its own experience. So, and Sean and I were talking about this before the show, the real world experience of that same reserve toss could have been catastrophic, because if I would have been spun up in a riser twist and completely G'd out in a downward motion and not actually had the fortitude of throwing the reserve where it needed to go, it could have just as easily gone right up, got twisted up, and never been a deployment to speak of. So the difference between that controlled SIV toss, where you have, people in boats and things, versus that real world experience. I've never personally thrown a reserve in the wild. I hope I don't have to, but I've always prepared myself for it mentally. Every time I go to leave the ground, I check my pins, I check my handle, I make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be, routed how it's supposed to be. Even though I put it away, working, I always go back, double check it. So my reserve toss experience is pretty benign. The one thing I will say is when you have to deform the wing and then collect it so you don't downplane, there's a lot more force involved than you would believe you have to give the wing to get it to come to you. Whether it's a beeline stall or a brake line stall, you basically just have to pick a line and just start wrenching the snot out of it until you get fabric in your hand. And it's way easier said than done. I mean, when we sit here and have these discussions and talk about collapses over the ocean and unbuckling yourself and getting ready for the water, I mean, you really don't have time. I mean, it's all great to talk about stuff like that, but the only thing you really have time for is to throw the reserve and hopefully get a swing or two before you hit the dirt. I mean, that's kind of my takeaway. I like talking about it and I like the discussions, but the practicality of what I've seen, yes or no, I don't know. But that's been my experience.
When you threw your reserve, was it a round reserve or was it a steerable?
No, I was round.
That's what I threw also. Now you actually have your own reserve. What kind is it? Is it round or steerable?
My reserves, both of my reserves are round, whether it's for paramotor or paraglider. And the only difference is my paramotor reserve is 160 pound reserve. And then my paragliding reserve is 110 or 120 kilogram reserve. So they're just a little bit different in size. My paramotor reserve, though, has what we call as a quick deployment reserve. So when you pull the handle out, there's a drogue chute that's about 3 foot round that comes out and opens before the actual reserve gets pulled and opened. And it just helps to drag everything out and open into the wind a little faster.
So since you have that the one with the little drogue on it, when you take it out and you pull it across your chest, would that like try to keep it going that way instead of being able to throw it out when you need to throw it out?
Well, the drogue is inside the diaper. It's not exterior to it. So you still have to get the whole diaper and everything to go to tension. You got to pop all the rubber bands in the last bind in order for it to open and everything work. But that initial drogue chute is what hangs out. It doesn't actually get folded. It just sits kind of bundled on top. And so as soon as the bundle comes out, it kind of comes out first. And through the couple of repack deployments that I've done with it at the clinics, it'll catch even the small breeze and it'll take the whole thing out and let you lay on your back a minute. So it works.
So you know how to repack a round reserve, and you've gone through clinics. Do you teach those clinics also?
No. So right here where I live, I'm fortunate enough here in Oregon to have two different paragliding schools that once a year do repack clinics. And so I take my motor and my paragliding harness and we go to the school. And the one that I like to go to is called Discovery Paragliding, and they're in Warrenton, Oregon on the coast. And Brad and Marin are the two that own and run the school there, and they do a fantastic job with their reserve clinics. And so we pull them out, we inspect them, inspect the lines, and then Brad and Marin will help us get them all lined up, addressed, preserved, repacked. Then they're super cool, and they'll just do the repack for you, and you can toss them a couple bucks, and everything is awesome about that. So it both sides. But no, myself, I probably could be that guy that would have that 60% faith in my repack, but I like having somebody who is, specifically trained in that portion. I've never been a skydiver. I've never done skydiving packing or parachute packing. So that's not my expertise. And I try to be smart enough in this sport to know how to stay in my own lane.
How often do you need to get your reserve checked?
Checked? Depends on how new it is or if you bought it used. My recommendation is to get it repacked once a year. They say every 6 months, but I think that's excessive. I think once a year is fine.
Really? They say 6 months?
Yeah, generally most manufacturers tell you to pull the diaper and inspect and repack your pack within every 6 months. If you look at videos and you see, and you can talk to Leah about this because I know you're going back to Florida here soon.
Yeah.
A reserve that's been repacked within the last 2 to 3 months is going to open up about a third faster than a reserve that's been packed for over a year.
Oh. Okay.
So if you let that thing ball up, take shape, and then never pull it out, it's just going to compress and then stay compressed, and it's going to be harder to get it out. Every now and then to open it, fluff it, change its shape, and then repack it nice and fresh. It's like the old parachute guys. The first time you threw the parachute guy up, it just went up and then, bam, hit the floor. And you were like, well, that didn't work. But after you opened the sail and messed with it and then threw him up in the air, all of a sudden he came dangling down. Same kind of principle, in my opinion.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Since we're talking about rechecking things, how about your wing? How often should you get your wing checked by a professional?
Most manufacturers recommend a 100-hour inspection or anytime you damage it.
And when you say damage, are we talking about a line damage? Are we talking about the fabric damage? I mean, every time you go out, you kind of damage it anyways. How severe of damage do we need to send it back and get it checked? And how long does it take too?
Well, that depends on the place that you send it to. I know that a lot of people will send the wing to Cloud9, and a lot of people like to send them to Four Winds PPG. My preference is to send it to Shannon at Four Winds. She has taken care of me excellently, and their turnaround time, in my experience, is about 3 days, 3 to 5 days.
Wow.
So if you send your wing on Monday priority, it's generally in Florida by Wednesday end of day. And then by Friday or Saturday, she sends you a notice that says, this is what I had to do, and this is what it's going to cost you. And then she boxes it up and sends it back to you with priority mail and tracking, and it shows back up in another 2 to 3 days. So the whole turnaround process for me to get my lines and everything done I think it was only 8 days from the time that the package left my door till the time that I pulled the wing overhead and flew it again.
Wow. So in other words, if you know that you're going to have a really rainy week that you won't be able to fly, that's the time to send it off and get it checked out.
Oh yeah, I mean, in my opinion, when you ask the question about damage, and that's a really relative term, because like for me, when I damaged my wing, I damaged the sheathing on one D line. And so I talked to Shannon and asked her, whether it should be inspected or not, or if I should just replace the line. And her opinion was, send me the wing, because then I can match whatever the length is as far as keeping the wing in trim, or I can just send you a factory length line. And the determination between getting a factory length line or getting the glider retrimmed was kind of a no-brainer for me. I mean, I'm going to send it to you for a week. You'll inspect the whole thing. You'll replace the broken line, make sure the whole wing is in trim, and send it back. Like, how do you beat that? And she literally just charged me $20 for the line replacement because she had to make one new line, and that was it. Nothing else in the glider needed repair or was damaged. So they gave me the inspection and sent it back. Happy day.
That's really interesting.
Now, how shipping both directions? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, ask you, it'll cost you shipping for both directions, and what they do and time, or how does that work?
Per repair. So like for me, my instance was one line. So she made up a new line. The new line was $20. I paid their inspection fee, which I think was like $75. I could be totally wrong about that, remembering poorly. But yeah, so it was just $20 for the new line, the inspection, and then shipping both directions. But there was no holes, no patches, porosity. They went through, did a full test, full check. And because I bought my wing, or I should say I traded for my wing. I started out with a 21-meter free ride and decided I didn't like having the holy crap rides every time I go out flying. So I went back something a little more mellow to a Spider, and I traded a guy. He wanted to go up. I kind of wanted to go down. So we traded wings. They were both about the same amount of hours. So I think the second or third flight, one of my videos, I was going downwind, hit some sink, and then bottomed out on a gravel road and just tagged a line. And it was just really stupid, pilot error, but paying for it.
Okay.
It's the way we learn. It's the way we learn how to do dumb things and not do them again.
Definitely. We all learn every day. I don't think anybody really is a master paramotor or paraglider, because even then, even if they think that they're master, they're still going to learn something. Since we're talking about sending things back and get them checked out, how about as far as like the carabiners and those little straps the carabiners connect to your actual harness? What would you say? What would you suggest about those things?
Well, I inspect my harness every time I fly, and I inspect the connection points. Carabiners are a cheap replacement part, in my opinion. So if you get grit in your carabiners and you're having a hard time getting them to open or close, lock shut, whatever, if they're not locking properly, just replace them. Go get a new set. They're really cheap and easy to get. They're not that hard to replace. I mean, they just slip right in the loop. As far as the actual webbings go, if you start to see that the webbings are fraying or any of the stitching is starting to come apart, my honest opinion is you should start almost immediately looking for a new harness. I mean, your life is hanging in the balance of that harness. And when that stuff starts to fray, I mean, there's redundancies built into it and safety built into it. But I mean, if my life hangs from it, I'd rather spend, $200 or $300, replace the harness and know that it's nice and new, than be falling wishing I wasn't. Or,
What would you say is the average life of a harness?
Oh, that could be 300 hours or more if you treat your harness well and don't smash her into the dirt and butt land everywhere and, stuff like that. You're driving home and your gear is on the back of your car, back of your truck, and you have to drive through a rainstorm to get home. The water, if not properly dried out, can degrade the harness. I mean, different aspects. Sun, I think sun is the big one. we all know to keep the sun off of our wing and cover the wing, keep the wing in the car, whatever. But your motor sits out there. It's on the back of your truck or back of your van. And a lot of us, myself included, I don't have a paramotor cover that, sunshade or rain shade. So, the open element can take a toll on it. That's probably the biggest thing, I think, in my opinion, is just the open environment, because we just don't really consider the harness as much as we consider the wing.
Oh, it's still part of your life-saving device. That's what's attaching you to that wing.
Absolutely.
Would it be good to bring your harness to a seamstress that may be able to fix it? And if you would, who would you bring it to make repairs?
I personally wouldn't look outside of the flying community for any repair like that. I wouldn't believe that a standard dressmaker or tailor would be the kind of person that would have the mentality or fortitude to be able to work out something like that. I mean, I'm sure they would have great sewing skills, but understanding and knowing the necessity of what's going to happen and the brevity of it. I don't know. I would just stay, again, that's that stay in your lane thing. And I think when it comes to flying, that's a repair that needs to stay in the flying community.
Yeah, more of a parachute rigger type operation would be able to fix that.
Exactly. Yeah, I would think like maybe your local what do you call it? A parachuting club or skydiving club. Maybe like I said, Cloud9 or even Shannon. I'm not sure if Shannon would do a harness repair. Maybe. Always definitely something worth reaching out and asking. I've never had to do one personally, so I can't really attest to it firsthand.
So 300 hours, or if it gets damaged for the harness, 100 hours for your wing, and they recommend 6 months for a reserve, but you think maybe a year would be good?
Yeah, like I said, I think once a year is a good number to do your repack, and then every 100 hours or every damage. And damage is relative. Like I said, a damage inspection could just be lay the wing out on its back and go over it with a fine-tooth comb and just make sure you didn't take off an attachment point, because there's a lot of authority with that prop. When it comes down and snags a line, it can bang. I mean, it really can rip an attachment point out, and you don't realize it until you bring that wing up and you see one of those lines flying there dangling behind you. So just different folks have different strokes when it comes to their inspection. But I think once a year, or maybe once every 2 years, depending on how much you fly, is a good amount of time to send your wing in for a trim. The biggest thing about trim is when you go to launch your wing, you'll notice that the wing will come off to one side or come off to another side. It won't want to launch straight. And so having a wing in trim makes it a lot easier, and it's also safer because you don't have to worry about collapses.
Exactly. I know that you said that you got to get going, so Kevin, appreciate your time here and all that. Looks like we got JP.
What's up, guys?
Sorry, guys.
What up? Kevin can get reported to the fibs.
Oh,
We need a new shirt. Don't report Kevin.
Yeah.
Don't report Kevin.
So
I like it.
We'll chat more about something. I'm sorry that you got to go so soon.
Well, it's one of those times we're trying to run a show on a holiday weekend, and unfortunately for me, I'm out of town with the family this weekend. So trying to do my best to fill in the show and keep the family happy and keep everyone moving. So you know how it is, wearing one too many hats.
Well, thanks for coming on. I mean,
Thank you, Kevin. Truly appreciate it, man.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. Like I said, everyone be safe. Everyone have a good time. Memorial weekend. Everybody remember, big salute. So you guys enjoy it. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, my friend.
Good luck, Kevin.
Well, it looks like Jake is logged in, and you are going to. I see that you're starting your gas, JP?
well, he's adding
What's
some
that?
gas to it.
So,
Hopefully, I don't pour fuel on my phone.
so you're streaming from your phone. That's pretty cool.
From my phone to my helmet to whatever. What time is it?
It is
Anybody got the time?
8:25.
What
8:25.
time's, what time's sunset?
8, well, in about 35 minutes, maybe 40. Well, it depends on where you are. Where are you calling?
He's in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
That's central, so it's 8:10.
Oh,
Trying to
East.
figure out how much fuel to add.
So you have about 35, 40 minutes before sunset.
So you need an hour worth of fuel to be on your reserve.
Bingo fuel to be on bingo.
Yeah, always have that extra.
Yes, sir.
Don't pull a
So-
Sean.
Hey,
No foot dragging on empty.
does anybody want to tell me anything about my recording at the moment?
Yeah, you need to turn it.
There you go.
My man, who does that? Who does that?
So where are you right now? And explain where you are, because this is also going to be an audio podcast.
I know exactly
We
where he's
are-
at.
We are at beautiful Erdy Aviation Ltd. in Sunbury, Ohio. We've got Lance Rhodes and owner operator Walt Erdy. Say hi, Walt. Say hi to YouTube. Right on. So he's got this beautiful piece of land here that he keeps so well groomed, and lets us fly out of it. So it's really nice here. It's, you know, pretty open. There's you know, a few trees here and there, but for the most part, you couldn't ask for a better place to set up and do this beautiful thing we call paramotoring. So I feel very fortunate to have found this place.
You're taking the
yeah,
same path I took to launch, aren't you? Aiming for the trees.
Yeah, right there. I got video of the other day from the air of Nick heading straight for that patch of trees. We got all this open space over here, and what do you know? Nick head straight for those trees. So, but we'll get it turned before then.
That's where the wind was wanting me to go.
Yep.
I just followed the wind and the wing, and
So
It'd be dangerous. So when are you taking off? Are you taking off pretty soon?
I'm gonna take off here in 30 seconds.
All right.
I might hang you from my chest. Video might get kind of sloppy here in a minute. So.
Never hung from your chest before, so this will be a new one.
Right on. So where are we going?
So while you're getting everything set up, what kind of motor are you flying? What kind of wing do you have?
I am on a Parajet Maverick with a Moser 185 Viterazzi with an exhaust that's still in one piece, despite what the internet claims. I've had it for over 100 hours now, and knock on wood, haven't had any exhaust issues yet, but the night is still young. So we'll see about that. I'm on a 24-meter Ozone Spider.
I love this one.
What else? So the night is still young. Tip steering. So might lose you here for a second. I'm walking away from my phone.
you have that really cool addition of fuel injection on that motor.
Poke this somewhere for me. Thank you. Perfect.
What do you mean? He has fuel injection?
He has EFI on that motor.
No way.
What's that?
You have the cool EFI system on
I
your
got
motor.
one. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. What?
So you have that nice cool EFI system on your motor too.
I do. A big shout out to Aviator PPG and Alex Huff for always offering, you know, top-notch service and
Nice.
customer service. And I hit up Aviator at first when I was looking into it, and oddly enough, the engineer that developed it lives like right down the road from me. So I got him to personally install it and, you know, offer tech support and everything for me. So I you know, couldn't be more pleased with that. And the throttle response and everything is just fuel consumption, smoothness. I've had people comment, seeing me fly on how, man, are you sure that's a two-stroke? You must have that carburetor adjusted really well. I've had like farmers say to me and stuff, and like, that's because there is no carb.
Yeah, I was flying beside the other day, and you get on the throttle, and it was right there.
Yeah.
Like you seem like you're in and out of it a lot too, trying to
Oh,
match
yeah,
speed.
Love it. Yeah, it came in handy when I was trying to tip bump you there. So
Next time I'll go up with a K2, and you should be able to tip bump me on that one.
yeah.
All right, JP, I know that you're clipping in now, so if you would like to maybe go over what you're doing as far as checking yourself before you go your pre-flight. Oh, he went mute. All right.
Yep. He's probably doing a motor run up.
All right, so he's doing his pre-flight. I guess real quick we can go over pre-flight. We'll see. Bob, do you want to go over pre-flight? I see that you're in the chat. You want to talk about pre-flight?
I'm not a motor guy yet. I'm still a noob.
Oh, okay. Nick, you want to go over pre-flight?
Yeah, check. Once you've already pre-flighted your motor, prop, bolts, make sure everything's not loose. Nothing's going to fly off. Everything looks good. Strap the motor on.
Do you actually have a list of what you do pre-flight?
Generally, I check exhaust mounts, engine mounts, fuel tank, fuel lines, look for any leaks. I check the carburetor and the air, the intake silencer, make sure it's on its strap and tight. I check the prop bolts, make sure everything's spinning free, no nicks in the prop. Check the cage, all the Velcro straps, make sure all they're tight. Usually I'll grab the cage and kind of shake it, make sure nothing's loose in danger of coming back to the prop. Then I look through my harness, make sure all that's good. I always check my throttle cable, make sure it's returning right before I can put it on my back. And once I put it on, leg straps, center strap, and upper strap, check my helmet. Then I'll usually start the motor up and go through the throttle, make sure, shake it a little bit, make sure it's not coming off of idle as I move it around. Make sure it returns back to idle every time. Usually after I do the run up, I kill the motor, then I strap into the wing. Once I got the wing locked on, before I grab the brakes, I'll do a restart. But I always like to kill it first, just to make sure my stop button's working.
Sounds good, man. Sounds like you got it. So I wonder how many people actually have a checklist written down that they go through, or is it all in memory? Kevin, you're back on. Welcome.
I have a checklist. Yeah, well, I didn't mean to drop all the way off. I was just trying to mute myself. Anyway, I do a post-flight check. It's kind of like a pre-flight check for the next time. But when I get back home and I throw my motor up on the stand and I'm all good and happy, I start at the top and work my way through to the bottom. And I just double check that my airbox clamp is still tight, because it's kind of notorious that the airbox will rotate and get in the prop. So I make sure that doesn't happen. And then I just work my way down. All of the bolts have the little paint marks on them. And so I just visually reference that the paint marks are still all aligned, whether it's the carb body, the intake body where the reeds are, or the bolts that mount it to the actual frame itself. And then I go through and just quickly retorque, or should I say recheck the torque on the prop bolts, make sure that none of them came loose. And then I basically just justify that the whole frame is ready to fly for the next time. I'm good to go. So if I forget, because I'm the kind of person that gets ahead of myself sometimes, and so I may not come around and bang or shake on the prop, or bang or shake on the exhaust or something like that. If I remember to do it as I put everything away, then in my haste or in my hurry, I won't miss it in the pre-flight the next time around.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Usually when I'm done with a flight, before I put it back in the trailer, I tend to look over everything. And I love having the paint marks on the bolts, because you can see what happens.
It also gives me time to get on Amazon or skysports.net USA or whatever, and then make an order and get a new throttle or a new button or a new whatever it is I need to get if I find something missing. And then by the time it comes, I can smack it on the motor, and then I'm back up in the air pretty quick. So it's really kind of frustrating to think I'm going to fly today to find out that something's not right because I pre-flighted at the field and didn't check it when I got home. And now I'm not flying, and I took the time to drive all the way to I'm not doing anything.
Nick,
That's
can you
frustrating.
mute JP?
Yeah, so I was getting ready to do there.
Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry. Was that it?
Oh, you're all right.
All right.
Yeah, pretty much in a nutshell.
Yeah, I agree. You know, post-flight your machine, and it's kind of like a pre-flight for the next time. Do you trust that that paint mark? Because I found that even though I use that paint stuff for my bolts, I'd still go over and I noticed that that the paint actually moved with it.
It had to be the whole stud moving if that was
Well,
the case.
paint that I use is this. Yeah, but the paint I use is this weird decorative puff paint from Michaels. It's not like automotive paint. And so the way that it adheres between the bolt and the aluminum plate, if it was the shift, you would actually see it like wave. It's not there. It's not there to hold it. It's not Loctite. It's just a visual reference is all I use it for.
If you get the regular automotive, paint marking stuff, it's hard. So when it moves, it cracks, and you can definitely tell.
But it's kind of a pain in the neck to get off if you ever have to take the motor off, and then you have a bunch of paint marks, and it's it kind of starts to get nasty a little bit. A little bit of rubbing alcohol can clean this stuff up if you have to get it off.
The lacquer
It's
thinner
just-
takes off the torque check paint.
It's just a reference thing is all it is for me. I used to use a Sharpie, and then I decided that this little puff paint stuff that I found at Michael's worked really well, so I just kind of went with that.
I decided to not use that stuff anymore and just actually go through and check all the bolts because there's not that many. Might as well just crank it down and see what happens. And 9 times out of 10, I get one out of the whole paramotor that needed a little because it was a little bit loose.
My next rebuild on the motor, I'm going to actually take the bolts out and drill them and start doing the tie wire.
Ah, that's good.
They're not going to move. If they're tie wired, they ain't going to move.
Is that something that you
wiring them up?
like all of them or just, oh, JP's up in the air already. Go ahead and unmute him and see if he's talking to us.
Hold on here. Now he's got himself muted, I think, because I can't unmute him.
Oh,
Well, he can hear us while he's muted, and he should turn his phone so we're not looking down at his lap.
for
There
there,
we go.
yeah,
There
for
we go.
there we go.
See, what JP doesn't know is I've already reported him to the FAA for the flying photography.
All right, so it looks like we can see JP flying. And we
So,
see
guys, this is now officially the second live launch and flight on this site. Because I did one, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And now JP's done one.
This is what this show's all about, though. Showing the live flight, showing the crazy stuff, I think one day we need to all be in the air and do the show.
Oh, that'd be a
we
hoot.
need a
So Bill H says he had a leg strap come unattached. That's never good.
what's that?
I said, I'm looking at the chat right now, and Bill says I had a leg strap come unattached. So that's never good.
Oh my
No,
god.
that's a little hairy there.
Super Student says it's called torque check paint. That's right. Torque check paint. I call it the fluffy paint from Michaels because that's where I get it. Let's say that's where my wife got it and I stole her shit.
Go to Granger, you can buy the torque check paint real cheap.
Oh yeah.
But I'm
Well, see,
thinking that
ever since I sold my Jeep, I stopped making daily trips to Napa, so it's harder to get over to the parts store nowadays.
So JP, can you hear it?
Say again?
Can you hear us?
I can.
That is so cool. How high are you right now?
Little loud. Not very. Maybe 500 feet.
No, I meant how high are you?
Ah, Mr. Funny Guy. So I'm rocking my PPG smoke robe.
So I think he said that he's rocking his spider. Is that
Oh, it's PPG smoke strobes, his wingtip strobes.
oh.
Oh, he's getting ready to throw down a little bit of acro there.
All right, we're ready for some macro, JP. Go ahead.
So that's what got me. I was climbing up. I was at the beach climbing, and I was going up to do some acro. I was actually gonna go in and do some barrel rolls and stuff. And right when I was mid climb, I was climbing, and then it just fell in space. Wow, going down. That was my first motor out too.
Well, it's never fun when you have a motor out and you're trying to go fly.
Well, I was at like 500 or 600 feet, and I was probably about 200 meters out to sea climbing, and so I had to make an immediate 180 and head straight back for the beach. It was like, oh, we're not going up, we're going down. That's where that paragliding experience comes in, where you can just look at the beach and go, okay, I know where I'm gonna go. And you just decide where your spot land is, and then you just start making turns and setting up for your spot.
Yep, know what your glide slope's going to be.
Everyone on the beach actually thought I did it on purpose. They thought I just climbed up, shut the motor off, and then came in for landing. So I told my wife, I said, what was I supposed to do? Throw my arms
Well,
up?
I've always wondered why more paramotor pilots don't safety wire their important hardware.
Yeah, so I'm looking at I'm thinking next time I tear mine apart, I want to just start safety wiring everything, especially the stuff that I don't want coming loose, like cylinder heads and maybe even the prop.
All right, JP, we got to
I
see.
got in the habit of even safety wire my lawnmower blade bolts, for Christ's sake.
Hey, when you're a pilot and you have the wrap and the little pair of pliers, you just start safety wiring everything you can actually safety wire. It's just kind of something you do.
It looks nice too. I mean, it really looks.
Oh, yeah.
It looks aviation professional when your wire's all motored in, tied in. You ain't coming loose.
I thought it was funny when I had my Mustang. I bought a set of 2-piece rotors, and we drilled and safety wired all of the bolts from the hat to the rotor. And everybody said the same thing. They were like, oh, it was like, it's just the looks. I don't ever anticipate the rotor falling apart, but looks cool.
Well, I got so used to doing it on the pulling tractors, with the jet engines and stuff. Like you have to safety wire everything you take apart. So.
Oh yeah. On top of looking slick, it keeps things from vibrating apart. You need that extra layer of safety right there always.
Well, it's kind of the opposite of can't be tight if it's liquid. It can't be loose if it's tied down.
Yep. If it's got wire on it, it ain't coming loose unless you cut that wire.
What happened to JP? It looks like he's bouncing all over the place. What's going on over here?
JP, tell us a little something now that you're in the air.
Is it smooth? You look like you're bouncing around a little bit. What's going on over there?
Tell us a story now that you're
Really
up.
hard to hear you guys. I'm not sure if you're talking to me.
Yeah, what's the weather like right now? Is it a smooth flight? Are you dealing with bumps? What's going on? It looks like you're bouncing around.
Freak.
Any further?
Oh, nah, dude. Just doing some twisty bits.
Just doing the twisty bit.
That's on purpose.
Oh, okay.
So, what's that?
I said, okay.
Dude, it's perfectly smooth right now. It's couldn't ask for anything better.
I think we're gonna have to get a GoFundMe so we can get JP a set of shoes
or something.
Sorry, what's that, Sean?
Well, I was telling JP to tell us a story now that he's up in the air.
This is not an ideal setup, to be honest with you. It's really hard to hear you guys, and I can't hear myself, so I don't know if you can hear me that well.
We hear you.
The joy
Yeah?
of vlogging
Okay.
from Messina.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, this guy knows, so. Yeah. Nice night, though. Beautiful night. I wish Lance was up here with me. He had a little fumble on his takeoff, so he's backing up right now. But we'll get him up in the air next time. Hey, I'm taking a video of you guys taking a video of me taking a video. Look at this stuff, for real. Like, it doesn't get any freaking better than that. I mean, look at that. Words cannot describe, video cannot do justice. It's just, there's a little bit of haze setting in over the valley, but it's just so beautiful right now. I really wish I could stream from my GoPro. We're gonna have to figure out if that's a thing because it's difficult to stay on my control, hold the phone, see how you can hear me and all that. But yeah. So, whoa, little bump, little bump. No biggie. We're good. Still airborne. So I wonder if I get it upside down, if the G's will keep my phone on my lap.
Let's find out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, big shout out to Ron from Lone Star for the phone tether.
Yeah, that Lone Star phone
It's,
tether is amazing.
really good so far. Yep.
Me?
Hey, Jeff, what up, Jane? Can Shane hear us?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on, Shane.
Oh, I'm fixing to start grilling outside in the rain. It should be super fun.
The JP's flying up in the air in the sunshine.
Yeah, well, I'm in the Sunshine State. It's just not sunny right now.
Now we stole it. We brought it to Ohio.
Yeah,
I'll bring it back when I come down here in a few weeks.
yeah, you should, cause yeah, I don't like this. It was perfect all weekend long until this morning when we got ready to pack up and leave, and yeah, it's been crappy ever since. Anyways,
Have you ever thrown a reserve?
no, I haven't even had a tip collapse, to be honest with you. I'm fixing to. I shouldn't say that. There has been a change of plans. There's been a miscommunication on some stuff with Andrew Fuller, so I am going to class, I think August 9th, right before my birthday. I'll be doing a 2-day class. So I'm hoping to throw the reserve then. I think that's going to be beyond fun. And I can't wait because I literally just had the first time ever this weekend. We took off out of a new LZ. I shouldn't say my new LZ. It was, we went camping and I found this LZ off of the interstate. I flew from it before when I was fresh, less than 15 hours. And now that I have over 40 hours, it wasn't a big deal. I flew much comfortable and more confident. But we went south, and as we turned around to go back to our LZ, the fog had come in behind us and literally could not see the grounds. This has never happened to me before. And I don't know how many people have ever had the fog come in and you can't see the ground, but I was about 15 minutes of never seeing an ounce of the ground. Wasn't fun.
Not cool. Not
No,
cool.
that's what I kept saying.
So that is a fun phenomenon known as convection fog. Convection fog will ruin your day as a pilot sometimes, and you'll have to go find alternative LZs. Not fun.
Well, I tried to go below it. I tried to just dip down in it and see where the bottom was. And my altimeter said that I was less than 100 foot off the ground. And I still couldn't see the ground. So I went back up through everything and decided I'd wait until I could find a hole. And that didn't actually happen until after I was a little more than a mile and a half from my LZ where we took off. And I can honestly tell you, this is the most uncomfortable flight from the very first time that I took off as a new pilot till now. This was the most uncomfortable flight I've ever had.
Good
So
learning
what was
experience.
What was uncomfortable, Shane? What made you uncomfortable? Let's expound on that feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I've never not been able to see the ground. I know that I'm supposed to see the ground legally and well, cautiously. You're supposed to always see the ground. And I had a feeling that if my motor went out, I would be right at 100 feet coming through the fog and realizing that I have to find LZ at 100 feet. What is that? Maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds?
Yeah, about that.
So for me, I was uncomfortable. I'd never concentrated so hard on my motor for any stutter steps, sputtering. I was just like, oh my God, don't do it. Don't do it. Not now. And I did. I don't want to say I'm a confident flyer pilot.
You're a cocky SOB. What are you talking about?
No, dude, I'm the first one to tell you I'm a new, don't know nothing. I will tell you that from the start of the day to the end of the day. Dang it, that's loud. JP, fix your camera.
I know. We don't know.
This is where you say, I'm sorry to everyone wearing headphones.
Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I came on the show tonight, and thank you, Nick, for letting me do this, but for this poker run, that's June 6th, I'm going to wake up bright and early. I'm going to go live from the very beginning to the very end. I'm going to catch a couple pilots taking off, a couple pilots, and then myself, I'm going to live. Hope everything goes right. I'm going to take off. I'll fly. I'll have you guys, whoever wants to watch who can't be there, I will fly the whole poker run. And I will land at Avon. I will catch a couple people doing landings, and then I will take off again and land at Wauchula. I then again will catch the rest of the guys coming in. If I'm not, actually, I shouldn't say that. I might be the last guy landing. Who knows? I'm going to catch some people landing, and then we're going to go through the first prize, second prize, third prize, and do the giveaways. So those who can't be there, I'm going to do an entire show live, if you will, not show, an entire live. Just so those who can't be there.
So what you're saying is you're going to play Lois Lane for the poker run, and you're going to report all the news?
I'm going to record the entire thing live. So my takeoffs, if I biff it, it's going to be live. No, seriously, that's got me more scared than going above the clouds.
Hey, just don't land next to any road signs and you'll be all right.
Hey, that is a great video. That is a great learning video.
I'm guessing I have to make sure I let you get in the air before I try to take off then.
Well, that's fine. You still have to be, if you land before me, that's scary too, because I don't really have a spot landing. I have an area code landing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can spot land in a few hundred yards, but it's never pretty.
No,
Tends more of a, I run it in the ground.
Well, with all consideration, PPG Grandpa takes a hand truck with him. He just hand trucks his motor around. He doesn't even carry it.
oh man. No, seriously, I my landings. I'm actually hopefully Friday gonna go over to Avon before the fly-in and hopefully get Lauren to help me out. He already said he would help me out with my spot landings, and hopefully he's really good at fixing me quickly, because Saturday morning I'm taking off, and well, I'm landing back at in the Avon Park, maybe just outside. Now put the stakes on. I'm putting.
Figure out. Go ahead and figure out how to fly a paramotor real quick. No big deal.
What? What did he say?
Hey, P, your camera is sideways. We can't see what you're doing.
And 6 inches
JP,
off the
you're
ground right now.
JP, you're talking sideways. We can't understand you.
He's landing.
There we go. Now we see it.
Oh, he's foot dragons.
Stop mumbling, little boy. I can't understand you.
Hold on, I got to put you guys down for a second so I can. Actually, I can go ahead and jump off. I just wanted to let everybody know, if you're interested, I will be doing the entire show live so that those who can't be here can watch it. And if you don't want to watch it, I could biff a launch. I'm definitely going to biff a landing, just so you know.
As long as you don't destroy the equipment, we're good.
Where can we go, Shane? Where can we go, Shane?
Oh,
You want the ring shot?
my YouTube channel is Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. Hold on. JP is killing me. So if you want to watch this come June 6th, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. And I will be going live from 20 minutes before 6 o'clock probably until whenever it stops. Who knows? I got 3 external batteries, and we will go until those run out.
That sounds awesome. Guys, it's already been an hour. We're going to continue the after show here in just a moment, so don't go nowhere. We're just going to be ending the podcast and the audio podcast here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Kevin Can Fly, Shane Never Trust a Skinny Chef, JP here, and Bob. Bob was out there. So y'all have a great day. Thank you very much for joining us. And don't go nowhere, because now we're going to open this all up for our after show. So we'll see you next week. All right. Did Nick go? Where's Nick?
I'm here.
All right.
I'm putting the numbers in the chat so everybody can join.
All right. That was really cool. I can't believe an hour went by already.
Doesn't take long.
Flies when you have fun, or when.
I heard Kevin say something, but I couldn't hear him.
Yeah, he was.
I said time flies when you're flying.
No, that I like that. Oh, that needs to be another shirt. I forgot.
Sean is all about stealing all the.
I'm gonna take the nickel for everyone for royalties, because this is my proof.
Sean is awesome. He's like, oh, what was that again? That's a new shirt. Thank you again.
Hey, if you haven't seen on iloveppg.com, there's a whole new bunch of T-shirts with a bunch of new paramotor sayings, and we got a bunch of different ones. Like, look at my screen behind me, butt fan,
yeah.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of them. What other good sayings can we come up with? I really need some more good T-shirts. Time
Oh, you
flies.
should have a guy holding a gas can and it should say, "Did I say 1 liter? Better make it 2." That's another good one.
Yep.
Time flies when you're flying.
I'm full of good, terrible ideas like that.
I got time flies when you're flying paramotors. That'll be on next week's thing. What are some other good ones? Linda, are you out there? You always have some good ones too. Crazy Uncle Bob, what's up?
Who doesn't love Linda? That chick is like supporting everybody and anybody.
Exactly.
I don't even know how she does anything else. She's always on YouTube.
You know, I just thought of another funny one. You have a picture of a big wing on the chest and then a small little like 16-meter free ride on the back and say, "This time I'm proud to say mine's smaller than yours." Like insinuating it's cooler to fly a smaller wing than a bigger one.
Mine's smaller than yours.
Yeah, mine's smaller than yours.
All right, I might have to try something like that.
That's because that's like the reverse ploy on that male thing, you know what I mean? And you're like, ha ha ha. Everyone drives a big lifted truck when they paramotor, right?
And then everybody tries to get the So yeah, mine's smaller than yours. Time flies when you're flying a paramotor. Come up with something else. What else we got?
Well, we
Be a
got
butt
people in the
lander.
chat. We need the chat to get involved. Come on, you guys in the chat. There's a couple people out there. We need you guys to get going.
We got
Uh-oh. Ding dong.
So we need help. Give us some more paramotor sayings that we can put on t-shirts. Go to ilovepg.com. Look at all the ones that we got out there right now. We even have mugs. And
Now Sean's got my head spinning, dude. I'm trying to come up with something witty, which is not normally hard for me, but it is right now. Hold on.
we got Born to Fly. But getting high is my job. One of my favorite ones is I'm pretty confident my last word will be, well, shit, that didn't work. Paramotors, best social distancing ever.
Yeah.
The sky is my place.
Oh, I heard Linda. She's in the house.
Gotta get that mute button ready.
Gotta get that mute button hot, fired up. It's like the easy button, but in reverse.
Dude, I have a red button here just for her.
Lordy, you guys. You're killing me. You're killing me.
So a super student asked to be put in timeout if somebody was controlling the show. So I went ahead and put him in timeout. Love you,
There you
buddy.
go.
Love you, buddy.
You know what I love about Kevin? Kevin's like, I'm gonna post a video, and then I'm gonna Facebook message Shane to let him know that my video is up. Shane's already watched this video, but Kevin's like, well, okay, cool. All right, next video, I'll send you another message. I've already seen it. I watched it. I got you. I hit the bell.
I send it to everybody. I'm clickbait happy. You should know that by now.
You made me not feel special. You son. I don't know. I have nothing.
Uh-oh.
I mean, Linda's here. Son of a great person.
Oh,
Why do you?
oh,
Why? I
stop.
don't want to be. I want to be special. I want to be special.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't born yesterday, you know.
I told Kevin I made a comment on one of Kevin's videos
Calm
about
down,
him
calm
having a
down. You
face.
don't gotta get the attack dog and all that. Like, just relax. I know you're from
What?
Florida, but calm down. Calm down.
No, my dog's inside. It's raining. He's not coming out. He's like,
Inside of
no.
training.
No,
Chopper.
it's
Sick.
raining.
Choppers.
Training.
I should show you guys this 8-week-old puppy just wearing my Rottweiler out. My 2-year-old Rottweiler. Hold on.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. Watch this. Hold on here. Oh, there it is. Look at this big beast right here. He's not really big, but he's really sweet. Where's the puppy? Cover.
Chopper. Like balls.
Where's the puppy? Go get see. Go see. Go get the puppy. No, not that one. There, that one. This one. This is ferocious right here. This is an 8-week or 9-week-old Australian Shepherd. She's ferocious.
Aw.
Look at this. Come get this. Come get right here.
Oh.
Get him. Get him. Get him. Right his face. Go for the jugular. Go for the jugular. Why? She's not gonna do it now. They've been wrestling forever this afternoon. All right, stop, you big bonehead.
It's like I'm too big for that.
No, don't eat my. Get off my cord, weirdo. Hey. Seriously, bro. What's wrong with you?
Hi, Nick. How are you?
We're doing okay.
Speak.
That's good.
Speak. Oh, good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy. Stop eating my cord.
Yeah.
You read-
I ended up having to re-download Zoom because something happened with my other download, so I had to uninstall it and reinstall it again.
Uh-oh.
Like JP's heading towards his LZ there.
Yeah, look, he's lining up for a final. Hopefully it's better than the landing I had. You got a reason to go buzz the trees. He seems to like to run around in circles around the trees down there.
Hey, Shane, I just found your channel on YouTube, so I subscribed to it.
Shane dropped out for a little bit, I think. He might have had an internet issue.
Okay.
Oh, we got a landing. Oh,
Oh, turtle. Nope.
yep, that don't look
Face
good.
plant.
Face down. What was that, JP?
Hey, any landing you can walk away from.
Exactly.
Did you mute me?
Yeah, I muted you. Your dog was barking. We couldn't hear everybody.
Well, I muted it right after you did that. What?
Hi, Linda.
Hi, how are you, Cruiser?
I'm
Hey.
doing good. And you?
Good. I had to work today, but it's all good.
Hey, I have an emergency real quick. I just got Dave Wolf just called me and asked if anybody was in Missouri because Campbell, what is it, Mark Campbell just crashed live on Facebook
Oh,
and
no.
they're trying to
What?
see if
Oh,
anybody's
no.
if anybody's over that way that they could help out
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
because I'm in Florida. That's far from there.
Yeah.
How bad of a crash?
I don't know. He just said, ask if you're on the show. And I was like, yeah, let me go. I'll just go. I didn't ask any questions other than, where it was and who it was. But
If there's anybody
they're trying
watching in Missouri, definitely get on there.
correct. 'Cause
Oh, absolutely.
I guess he was live on Facebook. I don't have him on. My Facebook is weird. It's my personal page. So when people like ask to be friends, I'm
Keith
like,
Smith
it's kind of
just-
weird because I don't.
Or Keith Smith just asked what part of Missouri.
It is called Campbell, Missouri. I can't say Missouri, obviously.
So who was it that crashed? Who was-
Holy crap! Hold on here, Jack. Stop, you guys. Stop. All right,
Who was it?
quit. It's she's maybe his last name's Anderson. I mean, not Anderson. It's. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. No, stop.
I'll check my Facebook too, see if it's on there.
Who was it?
I'll call. Let me call him real quick, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna write this. Yeah, I'm gonna write this. I'm trying to remember who it was now. I just said a bunch of names, and I'll call him again and find out. Hold on.
Nick, did you hear who it was?
No, I didn't. There was too much other noise in the background. I couldn't hear everybody.
I couldn't hear either. Kevin, did you hear who it was? I didn't hear who it was.
Looking up.
Let me check Facebook and see if he's got anything posted on here.
Who is it? I couldn't hear who it was.
Yeah, me neither. It was broke up or, let me see.
Hey, Nick, I watched the show last week with that guy that crashed and recovered. That was really cool. Nice.
He'll be back in the air soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
He's on the
He's
path
nice.
to it.
Am I still on or did you mute me? Nick?
You're still on.
Yeah, David, he's good people here.
I'm Shane back.
I just PM'd David, so I don't know. Did you get something on yours?
All right, everybody there. It's
Yeah.
Woody Hayes. Woody Hayes.
What?
No,
No.
Yes, Woody Hayes out of in Campbell, Missouri.
Yes, he's on my Facebook.
Well, he was
I
just
call
live.
him all the time.
What?
oh wow, wow.
No,
I'm just trying to help out.
No, I appreciate that. No, I follow Woody. Oh my gosh.
And I apologize for the name mix up. I have friends that are named
Okay.
Campbell, and then
It's okay.
I was just like, wait a minute, I don't want to give them wrong information.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, I see it right now.
So when you say he went down, is that like he had a motor out, went down in the cornfield, or is that like he had a collapse and crash?
So I got him
Dave.
on I got him on my Facebook. 11 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I
live. Are you watching
Can-
it too?
Can
Yeah,
someone
watch-
share? Can you share the screen or no?
Yeah, screen sharing is available if someone wants to share it.
It's definitely Woody Hayes. I just looked at his
I-
live stream.
Dave Wolf-
Click on Woody Hayes and you'll get his.
How do you share the screen?
At the bottom, there's a little green thing that comes up at the bottom of your Zoom.
Yeah, right in the center.
Click the screen and make sure before you do that, when you pick the right screen, make sure you click the optimize for video and audio.
Said host disabled it.
Hold on here. I'll
All
set
right,
that back
yeah,
in.
Dave just PM me, and yeah, he said Woody Hayes.
I hope he's
Yeah.
already. It looks like he just missed
But
the
I'm
trunk.
watching.
Oh.
Are you watching
Greenhouse
Woody's
available.
video?
Hey guys,
We're talking about the accident.
What?
all right. So I was just watching Woody Hayes live. He just crashed into a field. I need to know if anybody is in the Missouri area. I believe it was Pine Bluff area, or anybody that knows Woody Hayes or flies with Woody Hayes. He did go down into a field. It looked like he struck a combine or something like that. I don't think he was flying with anybody. So we need to find out if we know anybody in that area.
Are they not ready?
He's like freaking on the middle of nowhere.
Hey guys, I'm gonna step
watching
away
the
for-
video right now.
Guys,
Kevin.
what we need right now is everybody who's watching, everybody on this panel, to reach out to people that may know him, may fly with him, may be in that area. Because I don't know, it looked like he struck hard. I don't know. We don't know, anything. What we do need is we need to get some or not. So everybody, open your phones right now. Reach out to people that may fly with him or know people that know him.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he is in Missouri. I believe it was Pine Bluffs. Here, hold on for a second. I can read the comments.
Yeah, Dave
Pine
Wolf said it was
Missouri.
in
Broadcast on
Campbell.
Zello.
Yeah, Campbell, Missouri, south of Pine. Let's see here. I'm sorry.
Somebody has to-
Dave, I've been trying to. I've tried to get with these guys already in this group and try to share the info. Dave Wolf sent me a message. We talked.
Yeah.
Sounds bad.
All right. Sheriff has been called.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching the video right now.
It doesn't look like he in a combine, but it looked
He
like
just missed the tractor.
Yep, yep.
It sounded like there was a hit to me.
Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh.
Nobody can share.
Someone want to share the video before?
No, guys, let's not do that.
No.
Let's looks like the sheriff's been called. He was flying at Campbell, Missouri, down south of Poplar Bluff. So if anybody in that area knows Woody, knows people that fly with Woody, anything else like that, let's see if we can get a call out to them. Looks like a sheriff has also been called. Again, I don't know how bad it is, but It sounded like he hit something,
Yeah,
and
it
then
did.
the broadcast was
it.
interrupted. So,
Yeah.
you know, it may be bad, it may not. I would rather err on the side of caution. So that's the information we've got.
Yeah. I
Hey Nick,
tried-
is there a flying group on Zello?
Yes,
what I
we
was
have one
saying.
on there.
Okay.
I'm not
I
sure if he's a
would-
member of it though.
Well, somebody might be in
Okay.
the area though. Someone want to send out a broadcast.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug. You want to do it?
Where is it? Campbell, Missouri?
Yeah, Campbell, Missouri.
Yep. What county was it, Dave?
I don't know what county Campbell, Missouri is, but I believe the
No, you said something
comment-
else. You said something
Yeah,
else other than
here, hold on.
maybe a town or something.
It was south of something bluff. Hold on, let me get into it real quick. I'm just going back to the comments.
Right. Damn it,
Open on
dude.
Facebook, open. Couldn't load post. Let's see here. View comments. Okay, he was flying at Campbell, Missouri, down south of Poplar Bluff.
Poplar Bluff. Bob, you got that?
Yeah, I just broadcast it on Zello. On
Okay.
National chat.
I don't know what county Campbell, Missouri is, but I believe
The quicker we can get information out and get someone there, the better.
Correct.
post has been removed. What the hell?
That's why I said I was gonna have someone try to broadcast it, 'cause that's what happens. They remove the damn things when there's an accident like that.
Yep.
I'm like freaking out.
Yeah, if you don't save it
I didn't
right
want to
away,
watch
they-
somebody. Yeah, I didn't want to watch somebody crash, but I do want to. It needs to be.
Yeah,
Because if not, they'll
it needs to
delete
be
it.
saved, because what happens, they end up deleting it, and if it comes back, they take everything up right before the impact and they take it off. That's the bad thing.
Does Facebook do that or do?
Yes,
Do-
Facebook and YouTube both. If you're broadcasting live, they'll remove it.
Everybody
Oh,
in this-
Jesus
Not,
Christ.
Everybody in this chat it has my permission. If I go down alive, I want it to be a learning video. Just so you
All
know.
right. So I just rewatched it. It may have been an impact. Actually, it most likely was a wingtip collapse or a frontal. The way that. Anyway, so yeah, we need to see what we can do.
somebody.
So
not getting
that's all we got.
anybody
I'm gonna get back off
Nobody-
this
nobody's
thing. I'm gonna get
replying.
back up on the phone, guys. Please, everybody
All right.
reach out, see if we know anybody that knows him or can get in contact, whatever. It looks like the sheriff has been called. Let's put in plenty of calls over to him or over to the sheriff as well.
Okay, keep us.
All right. You bet. Bye.
Thanks for coming on, Dave.
Gosh, I know, I hate that.
I'm gonna try to find, is it still alive, or they totally remove it from his site? Because that's what they tend to do a lot.
Well, guys, this time around, I'm actually gonna have to go. We gotta.
Well, the
stuff
video's
some
still
stuff
up.
in the car and get ready to go for the drive home from the beach. So sorry to hear about the bad news, Woody. I hope you're doing well. I hope if you do sustain an injury that you heal quickly, my friend, and you're back in the air fast. So hopefully this is just a scare and nothing bad comes out of it. So that's my 2 cents. You guys have a great night. My kids are screaming at me. I gotta go.
All right,
Kevin. Good night.
Have a good one.
Put that on there.
What?
Who is that?
They're trying to share it. Just chill out, Linda.
Okay, all right, sorry.
Hey, Linda.
Oh, we nearly missed that
Oh,
tractor.
man.
Yeah, that was a near miss there.
Didn't look too bad, but.
Trying to
you can really
avoid
tell
that
from video.
tractor out there, right? Is that what you think happened?
just so you guys all know, my wife does not know that anyone's ever crashed ever in a PPG sport. Just so you know, we're gonna leave it at that. Moving on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no one ever crashes. Everybody lives.
Right.
Yeah.
What you said,
Exactly. There's It's nothing but unicorns and happy.
He just
stuff.
posted here 3 minutes ago. He landed safe.
Nick. He did?
That's what it says on his Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Praise God. Oh my God. Ah, he'll be sore though. Oh. If you live to tell it.
It's literally.
Okay. Man.
Linda.
It's kind of rough
Listen,
when you see
Linda.
that live.
Well, now I'm second
I'm
guessing.
okay now.
Now I'm second guessing. I'm second guessing this going live for the entire thing. Because if I'm worried about biffing a launch, what if I crash?
Oh, stop. Stop. Now you're all scared. No, Shane.
I'm not scared.
No.
Actually, my
you're not
takeoffs
scared.
are my takeoffs are my confident. I'm confident in my takeoffs. It's never my confident on spot landing. You're gonna land, like it or not. You're going to. But where you're gonna land at is the best guess. I have no idea.
I was talking about that last night. I was like, yeah, I could probably get out there and fly out there, but the landing part, yeah, that's to me, that's the hardest part to land. Don't be
But
a butt
here-
lander. Don't be a butt.
Yeah.
Don't be a butt lander.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You gonna land. Hey, remember I was talking during the show about the fog rolling in and capturing me. Actually, Linda, you've seen this already because we're Facebook friends.
We are.
Look at that.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice shot there.
Oh, yeah. You just, if I would have turned the camera around, you'd seen a bunch of poop going through my thing because I was scared shitless.
You were all the way up there? You were like in the clouds?
No, this is just fog. It looks like I'm in the clouds. And I have a,
I was gonna say. Dang.
I
Because
have
not seeing the ground is the shit factor.
yes, exactly. I was probably 500 feet at this point, and it's every bit of 150 feet of solid. I had a guy, Brian, following behind me, and he's like, I never lost sight of you, just the ground. I was like, well, I can't save you. I'm just, I flew out of this LZ a couple months ago for the very first time. So this is my second time, his first time. I know there's 3 roads that you got to follow. And I found one road, followed it, and it started turning into a lot of swampland. And I was like, that's not the right road.
No.
I turned around, went back, found a second road intermittently. I want you to know, when we took off, there was absolutely no fog. When we turned around to come back to our LZ, we ran into a wall. And this has never happened to me before. This is the very first time I've never been able to see the ground. And Jack, stop with the bottle, bro. My daughter taught him to chew on water bottle or soda bottles. Now he thinks he's the shit, and it's really annoying sometimes. Anyways,
Yeah, put a few pennies in that soda bottle. Give it a good shake. That'll scare the shit out of them. They won't do that anymore.
The problem is this is the soda bottle now. I don't know if you can see it or not. I can't see my camera. Hold on. There it is. Oh, there's my soda bottle.
Oh, the doggy likes to chew on this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he loves it. He takes it.
Nothing like a new puppy in the house to disrupt everything.
No, that's the
They
2-year-old.
love everything. They love everything. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the 2-year-old. Hold on. Jack, come here. Get this bottle.
like, yeah. He's like, what
What
is
is-
wrong with you?
Now what? Yeah, just step on it. Just make as much noise. Well, there's food being made right now, so he's don't care about nothing but somebody dropping some food on the ground. Which, by the way, I gotta go, guys. I'm going to go to eat some dinner because it is like 9:25 here p.m.
Yeah, you need to
I'm-
eat, dude.
That's why I'm not skinny because I eat so late. That's the story.
It's okay. And I'm sticking to it.
Yes. All right, guys. Nick, bring me a computer already, will you?
Yeah, I gotta wait till I come to Florida and I'll bring you one.
Jeez, come on already. I want to videotape you launching, just so you know. Live.
Oh, you wanna see how
No
bad my
pressure.
launches can be?
No pressure. All right. You guys have a great night.
All right, Seanster. See ya.
All right. Bye,
Oh,
guys.
No, Shane's leaving, not Sean. Shane's leaving.
Yes, I'm leaving. All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Yeah,
All right,
here's how bad my launches are. This is a new wing. It is a lawnmower strapped to your back. Try to find the one that JP actually shot the same thing from the air when I took off, which was actually pretty cool.
I looked a little hairy with those trees in front.
It was a little bit funky. I'm used to, like, I get that quick tug on with the K2 right before I'm ready to lift off, and then I just go ahead and pull a little brake and it just breaks ground right away. This one was like, you pulled the brake and you kind of waited. I'm trying to find, here it is. Whoop. He seemed to be more excited about the launch than I was. Whoop, I did it wrong. I always do this. There we go. If he was up to cut the circle, we can take off. that's what it is too for us. It's just, another day in the air.
What
There you
what were
go.
you doing? What was this?
I know.
What was that? I
The
don't
what?
get it.
Second, Sean, critique it. Go ahead. Just say,
I don't get
what?
it. What
What
was
the
this?
heck was going on there?
I don't know. He was just like, going nuts when I'm
Those
launching.
trees look a lot closer from the ground than did from the aerial shot.
Oh, trust me, I was looking at them and I'm like, that's where the way the wing wanted to go. I had to break ground and I could turn. So the whole time I'm like trying to get it to come up.
What's with them doing the throttle move there?
What?
He was doing the, the.
I
in
think
the-
he was
in the-
wanting, I think he was wanting me to give it more throttle. It's like, I
give
was
it
giving
gas,
it throttle.
give it gas.
There's a give it gas, pull brake. I'm like, I know how to do it, but it's just, I'm so used to when I start to run out on the K2, the minute it starts lifting the J bars up, I start feeling it lift me. And I usually try to run a little bit further and I pull the brake on. This one, it started to lift, but it didn't have that nice tug. It was just like barely lifting me. So it was a big difference in the feel. So it kind of had me second guessing, pulling brake to take off because I wasn't sure if I was fast enough yet or not. It's a totally different feel on that wing.
What was that throttle you're using? Looks different than I'm used to seeing.
It's the air conception throttle. It's a carbon fiber. I love it. It's real thin. It's, just fits in your hand. I felt a lot of other throttles and I really like the feel of it.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey guys.
Yeah, we got a balmy 54 degrees here. I got my little propane campfire going over here. Otherwise, I've been freezing my butt off.
I'm jealous.
But,
But
yeah,
not
Linda's over there. It's
like-
probably 95
it's
degrees.
cold. It's looking cold there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm in the high 90s all day. What are you doing, Mr. Keith Smith?
Oh, not too much. I'm actually working on an RC helicopter while I'm watching you guys tonight. I've been eating dinner.
I know, yeah, I know I'm gonna have to go pretty soon. I gotta eat some dinner.
Hey,
I
Linda.
worked today. It was kind of crazy
Yep.
today. So.
I hear you. Thought I was going to fly this evening, and unfortunately, we got a storm through about an hour before I was going to fly, and the ground was just soaked.
Oh no. You're like, nope.
Memorial Day. Must be Memorial Day. It rained.
Hey, I remember growing up, we
Mhm.
had a pool and we would always plan barbecues and pool, the pool parties
Sure.
with the family friends.
Mhm.
And yeah, it always rained.
Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't having any
I
pool
remember
this
that.
year. We have I got like a 3-week late start on the camp pool this year because of all this baloney.
Oh,
And
I hear
the water temperature is 73 degrees today.
that. Yeah.
Nobody's swimming in that.
No. I think it's a
No,
little
I
chilly.
think so.
We usually keep it at 86, and it's just no, not today.
Mhm.
Yeah. That'd be a little bit too cold.
Yep.
Well, at least, okay, well, then, at least, did you hear anything else on Nick from Woody?
Other than
He landed safe.
Yeah, he
What he
posted he
said.
landed safe. He posted
Okay.
himself, so he's good.
It'd probably be, hope we,
Yeah, I called him and left a voicemail for him to call me before we got the down safe thing just to see, because I didn't get an answer and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see he said down safe because he didn't answer his phone. Oh
just
shit.
not a very nice landing or
No,
whatever, but
That's what I told him. I said it didn't look like a very fun landing.
No, it looked gnarly.
Yeah, it did. It looked real gnarly.
I can guarantee you he's probably more worried about, his equipment than himself. Is everything okay?
Yeah, we'll have to come in that close to that tractor. He probably has to go home and change his shorts.
Oh,
Yeah.
That,
He wasn't
yeah,
I don't
that
think he was quite as close as you think, but he was. I looked at it back again, but he was close enough that would have got my nerves.
how do you think that tractor, okay, so somebody was in that tractor, right? Or was
No,
just
it was
sitting in the
parked.
field?
It was
Just
parked. Yeah, it was parked.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
That's quite often you'll find tractors parked in the farm, you know, out in the field.
Yeah. He was like right at the end of a row. He'd plowed and stopped, you know, and they probably stopped for dinner or something. Who knows? May have rained on
He
him.
came in and
That happened.
looks like he came in about 15 feet above that tractor though.
lucky.
Yep.
He was really
Yep.
going down. He was going
He was
down
close enough.
hard.
He's like, whoa, a tractor. Where'd this come from? Oh, guys. Yeah, scare me. Hey, I'm kind of liking those shirts coming out there, Sean.
Well,
You're-
thank you very much.
And the one that but how come you didn't say, why didn't you put on one of the shirts, don't be a buttlander?
I think that was one that I am working on right now.
Oh, really? That's the shirt I want. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, so that's my thing, because I told you, don't be a buttlander.
Right, and we got
So,
a
Right.
couple more tonight. We got Time Flies When You're Flying Paramotors.
there you go.
Okay.
We got Mine Smaller Than Yours. What else do we have here, guys?
I
What else?
know. Come on, you guys we gotta come up with some really good ideas. So I got mine on there. Don't be a buttlander. That's
More.
mine. I
Next.
own it. I own that buttlander. Okay. So everybody's gotta come up, with some different ideas for these shirts. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple of ones like right here, PPG Grandpa,
Yeah. Yeah.
backer rack.
That's cool.
We got
Okay.
Paramotors, My Social Distancing.
That's awesome. I like that
Mhm.
one.
We got Born to Fly, Forced to Work.
There we go.
That's a good
We got a
one.
bunch
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got
Yep.
a bunch more. And we need more. I want more. I want more.
Yeah. We gotta think of some more things. That's right.
What else do I have here? I got I guess, let's see what else we got. PPG Grandpa. Oh, I love PPG.
Okay.
Paramotors, cheaper than therapy.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool. They're coming in then.
oh yeah, but not all of them are up there.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Sky Is My Playground, which is
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
another one that's just cheaper than therapy. I got. I'm pretty confident my last words will be, "Well, shit, that didn't work."
Yeah.
I got another one. I am a PPG grandpa for all the PPG grandpas that are out there. It's just not me, PPG grandpa.
Mhm.
I got Butt Fan Pilot. Getting High Is My Life.
Oh, there you go.
I like that.
I'm a paramotor.
Like you can put them all out there and then we take a vote.
Yeah,
But
they're getting high with my life with a paraglider in the background. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
paramotor dad, just like a dad, but cooler. I'm a paramotor grandpa, just like a grandpa, but cooler.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I need some grandmas and stuff too. I got the paramotors backer rack and two different types of paramotors. Paramotors best social distancing ever, and the other one that you just saw. So I got different versions of different ones. Trying to figure
Sure.
out. But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're flying paramotors. Mine's smaller than yours. Don't be a buttlander. And what else are we doing?
That's my favorite. Don't be a buttlander.
And
My favorite.
what else do we have? Oh, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a paramotor, and that's the same thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. I'll be like brainstorming. I will. 'Cause there's gonna be a lot of fun ones out there.
I mean, we're still live on Facebook, right? I mean, we still have.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat have any good ones that you want to see on a shirt? And if the shirt comes out, I will send you a shirt. So Linda gets a shirt as soon as I get Don't Be a Buttlander.
Yeah.
And then Kevin gets one that says Time Flies When You're Flying a Paramotor because he came up with that one.
Yeah. Cool.
He came up with that one, right? He also got Mine Smaller Than Yours. So he doesn't get two t-shirt. He only gets but we need some more. Anybody else have any good ones that you can think of? And if I use it, you get a free shirt with it.
Kevin just come up with a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Or, not Kevin, but Shane did.
Oh yeah, Shane. What is it?
He's coming back in here. I'll let him do it. Hold on.
Oh no, he's coming back.
Yep. Turn your camera, Shane.
Oh my god. Ah! Oh no. What?
I'm here.
What?
Uh-oh, look at I turned it. Hold on. Wait for it. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Okay. All right.
Never trust a skinny chef doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can lift this, you can lift anything.
This is the next t-shirt. Oh, you can't see with my background. Don't worry about it.
Hold on, let's fix it.
In front of your shirt and it'll show up usually. There you go.
Nope.
Got to back up some. It starts to show up and then it disappears.
Turn off the background.
So Sean, you got a pilot above the clouds, and it says knock knock knocking on heaven's door. Yeah.
Mixed messages.
Ooh. Good one.
I want one that says it's not the gear, it's the pilot. Okay, that's
original. Okay. Not the girl. All right.
How about Forrest Gump, or like Forrest Gump, foot launchers, just keep on running, or just keep running.
You can always do something really simple. Just send it.
there we go. There we go. Let's just do that one. Like just do it and send it.
You're gonna use Viagra when you got a paramotor.
Oh, Uncle Bob, what are you doing?
You know what I'm doing, Linda.
What are you doing?
Thinking about you, darling.
I still
Hey,
gotta eat
Nick.
dinner.
I'm gonna post.
Suppose we
I'm
can
gonna post.
paraphrase Tucker. Don't report PPG grandpa to the FAA.
Not that one yet. I will put one out when that ever happens. Hopefully that never happens.
And we need one for Kevin because he's already got
Everybody's
reported.
thinking.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right now.
Who said just send it? Was that Bob? Bob?
Yeah.
No, what I said was, who needs Viagra when you got a paramotor?
I got you down on that one. Yes, I do.
Who needs what?
Who needs Viagra when you fly?
Yeah, really, you could just blow yourself. What happened?
Nice,
I like
Bob.
it.
Nice. Oh my god. Like, hello. Okay.
And Kevin said that he wants the Mine Smaller Than Yours.
That's the one and only time you'll hear a guy brag about that.
I like it.
And who said it's not the gear, it's the pilot?
All right. I gotta get on. I have
That would
to
be
watch-
Kevin Can Fly.
Was
I
that him?
got a message from my paramotor chick because yeah, we got to get some things going here with,
Here.
yeah, girl talk. Like, yeah. I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to do some little bit of, finagling around, talk to my girls. Come on, we got to get some shirts going here.
Part 103 is not part 91.
A little obscure, but okay.
I know my brain. I'm thinking of some things. I will come up with some things by tomorrow. Some things will just pop in my head. I'll be like working on like when I get on Facebook, when I get home from work and I gotta plug Robert in, you know, and I do a little thing on Facebook. I love it, and I just get on there. Okay, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna say this? Da, da, da. And all of a sudden, my brain just goes, and there you go.
I guess we should do one more. Woody missed the combine.
Oh man. Not
Too
yet.
soon. Too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah. Don't be a
Hey.
combine crasher.
I think I have a winner.
Yeah.
Oh,
No one wants to see my frontal.
That's good. Yep.
That is pretty good. No one wants to see my thermal.
No one wants to see my frontal.
Mhm.
That's pretty
No,
good.
you don't want to see your own frontal.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
So how was the flight, JP?
It was good.
Oh, PP, he lives in
That's
town.
all.
Look
Yeah,
at him.
he's back.
Yeah.
did you find a combine out there anywhere?
What's that?
Did you find a tractor out where you were flying at?
There's
Oh.
lots of tractors out where I was flying at.
I think we.
So what altitude did you reach, JP?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Woody came back and said, "Butt landing, all is good."
That's what he said.
So he
Hey,
did a
go-
butt landing. It
Why don't you invite
just
him on
looked
here if you want?
bad. Yeah.
Tell him to come on if he wants to.
See if I can get him to. He's out in the middle of nowhere, probably though. I'll ask.
Woody, really?
Yeah.
It's okay. Oh gosh, yes. Bring him on.
Sean, I got another one.
Yeah.
The only time tip touching is allowed, or is okay. The only time tip touching is okay.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I think that's a bit much.
we touched tips,
Make it.
and we also had a wingtip bump.
Just the tip.
That's
Oh
what
yeah,
she
you could
said.
do. You could do. Hold on. You could do just the tip and then
Hey.
have two paramotor wings touching.
That's what I'm
You're
saying.
gonna have just a tip, but with wing and uppercase letters in the middle. Just a wing tip.
Mhm.
Or
Oh,
over.
Yeah.
Do like
A lot of good ones.
design. Yeah.
We got to come up with a good phrase, but that's good. How should we phrase that one? Just the tip.
Yeah, I like that.
What was that again? No.
That's a
It
big
was
question.
just the tip. That's what she said.
That,
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, I just saw something. I should message Leah. I bet she'd have a good one. Because the
Mhm.
girls, you know, we got to have our like things too. So yeah, I should message Leah and say, Leah, come on. We got to get
Linda.
going here.
Linda, a half deflation is like a woman saying it's okay. Everything's fine. Because the wing's not really fine, but it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you can still fly half a wing.
Or just put the picture of the wing collapsed halfway and go, it's fine. She said it's fine.
It's fine. Leave it alone.
Everything she said everything's
be
fine.
me.
Yeah.
That would be me. It's fine. Leave it alone.
No,
There
you
you go.
show half a collapse, and she said she's fine.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
It's fine. Yep.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you freaking run.
Kevin Flies put one there. It says half wing collapse, but below it says, "Don't collapse my shit."
Oh gosh. I'm gonna message Leah. I'm gonna message her right now.
Crazy Uncle Bob, you look great right now.
Crazy Uncle Bob.
Looks about ready to go rob the truck stop.
I know, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, I thought this was the boys' bathroom. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, I had to week or so ago. I had to go to the bank at work. We have a bank at the hospital, and I was kind of amused because it's one of the only times you walk into a bank with a mask on and they're happy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yep. Of course, they have to let you in the door, so they know who you are.
It might be too late. I don't know. It's almost 10. Yeah, this much
Yeah,
would be
it's-
probably gonna be like, what is this girl doing?
How
Yeah,
did we
it's-
get thumbs down on
You're on
this?
YouTube. Hope you don't mind your puppies on YouTube.
Got a puppy.
Mhm.
Well, you missed it last night. JP had he opened up a second camera on Zoom and his dog sitting in front of it.
Oh,
That worked for about
That's
3
very
minutes. The
doggy.
dog lost interest.
Yep.
like no, whatever. Yeah. No, I am going. I'm gonna message you or whatever, and then
Did someone, hey Nick, did someone say they had a screenshot of that?
I have video from it.
Can you send me a screen grab from it? My sister would shit her pants at that.
Yeah, I could do that.
That'd be awesome.
Hey Linda, are you on Facebook?
yes,
Yes.
I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Yeah, yes, I am.
Just look me up under my name.
Well, I
I'm
tried to
not-
find you on there. Yeah,
Did you?
yeah, I did.
Are you the
But I could
one
only
with,
find you. I could only find you like on your main page or something on your whatever company thing, whatever you're on. Yeah, I can only find you on like on that.
are you the one with the long, are you the Linda Anderson with the long hair?
Yes, it's Lindy Anderson. Yes,
L-I-N-D-Y Anderson?
Yep. Yep.
that's Lindy Anderson.
Okay.
I have. You'll see the pic. You'll see my profile pic. It's just, I have like the red, white, and blue like inner tube around my face.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay, I'll look for
Yeah,
you.
my
The only
profile pic
disadvantage
is-
of sitting out on my deck on a night like this, the night's pleasantly cool. I got a fire going, but I have a drink here, and we have the little green inchworms are coming out, so I have to keep a paper bowl of my cup to keep the inchworm shit out of my.
Has any
Sure. Yeah.
has anyone seen the thing about the worms in the strawberries?
What?
It's a thing. Since 2008, all of our strawberries have been infested with worms, but we don't realize it because we just eat them. If you take
No.
a container of strawberries and dump them into salt water, you will see little white worms crawl out of the strawberry seeds.
No way.
Yes, it's a thing. Look it up.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me that.
I read it on
I eat
Google,
way
so
too
it
many
must be true.
strawberries.
So I can put the strawberries in water and shake
Salt water.
like salt on it, and then that happens. I should be dead by now then because I love strawberries.
Go potty.
Google strawberry worms or something. It'll
I
be the
know,
first
huh?
thing that pops up.
Yeah, it's a little extra protein. It's okay.
That's exactly what they say. They said they could combat it, but the negative effects of extra chemicals would negate the fact, and it's just a little extra protein. Like there's nothing dangerous about it. Good girl.
It's just like salmon with the worms in the salmon.
There's worms in salmon.
Yeah, and
Fuck that.
pork naturally has worms in the meat. So
Oh yeah, and I love sushi, and I don't give a damn what's in it. It tastes good.
Hey,
it's
no
protein.
sushi. Hey.
PP Temp, I have a shirt idea.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
Paramotoring is just as cool as power motoring.
You did so
Ooh.
good. Good job,
There you go.
Lord. Come on.
Crash gonna be on YouTube.
Shane, you're in the
Did you
clouds.
get that?
Hold on.
I like it.
It was raining,
You're in the
and it
clouds.
wasn't raining then.
Well, the show's been awesome, and the good thing is Woody's okay, so I can sleep tonight. So I'm gonna say bye-bye, because I gotta eat some dinner and get ready for tomorrow adventure.
Linda. Good day, Linda. Good day.
All right,
Linda.
you
Night,
guys are
Linda.
awesome. I'll see you on the next one.
All
I'm gonna
right.
think of ideas though for the t-shirts though.
Definitely. Let me know.
And I am. I PM'd Leah, so we'll see what, come up with, and then she can send some ideas over to you. And
Well,
have
I bet
like
there could
for
be
the
some
girls.
interesting ones with the female perspective coming up. There'll be some interesting
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have one for the females.
Oh gosh.
Nope, you got a paramotor pilot coming into land, and it just says it's raining men.
I like it.
Ah, yeah.
That's funny.
There you go.
Like the end of a poker
Write it
run or
down,
something.
Sean.
Exactly. You get
Write it down. Oh Lord.
Looks like everyone's out. Kevin's out. Linda's out. I gotta go. It's 9 o'clock here. Gotta get some.
Yeah, you need your beauty sleep, guys.
And I'll
Fun
see.
show.
We'll see what y'all talk about tomorrow when I watch the rest
Thanks
of it.
for inviting me.
Easy, Sean.
All
Night.
right, guys.
Hi, Sean.
Later.
Hi, Sean. I'll
Stay
get you your
safe.
normal audio stream in the morning.
Sounds good, man.
No crashing. No.
Nope.
No. Ooh, there's an idea for a shirt. Okay, I got some things going on.
No crashing into combines? No.
No, not yet. No, we can't do that. Not yet.
All right.
Ha ha ha.
No crashing into anything.
Now, Sean and
Did that
Rachel
happen?
Hayden asked Woody. They said, "Where's the video?" After he's okay, and he says, "What video?" I
Oh no.
think he
Oh,
deleted it.
Wait, did somebody
mean,
crash
no.
into a tractor?
No, he missed it. He just butt landed. It just looked bad.
They look real bad.
Buttlander. Oh
Yep.
Lord. Now we have a buttlander.
Oh,
He
yeah.
butt landed and rolled a little bit, but nothing
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
That's what he said.
Night,
Everything's
guys.
good. Night.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, it seems like we all tend to have a butt landing at one point or another.
Biggie.
Oh yeah, I've had one or two.
And it's the one time I'm not hearing, like, 6 conversations on Zello going on at once.
Yeah, I hear you.
Alrighty, dinner has been purchased.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
I have a question for you about my computer. I sent you a message.
Wait, is that the
on
thing I heard
Zello
about
it?
I didn't get a chance to get back to you. I've been really busy with getting ready for the show, and I was flying yesterday, so.
Right. But I sent you a message on Zello, so whenever you can get to it, just let me know, and then I can hook up with you on it.
Yeah, sometime next day or two, and I'm not, running around doing a million things.
I understand you're busy. I'm gonna go now, guys. But it's nice to see all of you
Take
again.
her easy, buddy.
Have a good one, Chris.
You too. Thank you.
Yep.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we have this local pizza place around here. We just ordered takeout from yesterday, and they have the thing down to a science. You call in, they have an app to do it. You get in there, and then you get to the parking lot. And it's curbside pickup, and you go in there, and it's like 2 guys waiting at the entrance of the parking lot, and they'll take down your cell phone number and your name, and they say match it up to your order, and they say, "Well, park over here. We'll text you when your order's ready. And drive up to the door, and they'll pop it right in." And
Nice.
they have it down to an art for real.
Sounds like it.
Bob said he ordered yesterday. You talk about getting food today. They don't have it down to a science.
It takes too long to get. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, a couple of places around here they have a good system going up. One of them that is one of my favorite places. You'll call it in or text it in or use the app to get it. And when you get there, they have all the parking spaces numbered, and you call the number that they have posted at every parking space. You give them your name and the parking space number, and they bring it right out to you. It's pretty good.
That's cool. That's a good plan. Yep.
Because there was a time when you order takeout, so you don't have to pay the tip. Now you're doing the tip anyway.
I hear that. Be right back.
You're looking at Woody's chat, and it's like somebody commented is like, "Glad you're okay, bro, but man, you knew you shouldn't went up when you began with 14 mile-an-hour winds. Come on, man." And he's like, "Really? Why not?" It's like 14. Jesus, what's wrong with that?
Hey Siri, daylight. Hey Siri, daylight.
One downside of living in a campground this time of year, it's like I'm sitting out my deck and it's like, oh, someone's cooking something. Smells really good.
Yeah, I hear that.
Stop it.
But Kevin, how's the helicopter coming?
Keith, but that's okay. It's doing good. I'm just, oh man, I'll turn off the background again. My room's a mess, or I'd leave it off for right now.
So you're building it, or
Repairing. It's been sitting. I've been kind of putting off some work, and our club's getting together tomorrow evening for a little bit. A few of the guys, and thought I'd
that
take
looks like
couple
my
with me.
project room.
Oh, I hear you, man. That's all bunch of stuff hanging, sitting there, and my bench is the proverbial pile. It's got room for one thing to sit right now.
Yeah, my room,
And that's about it.
I've got like a shelf full of spare props. My helicopter. I got like 6 set of wings for various projects I'm working on for my RC planes, and
sure,
I got kites and everything else on the hanging from various spots.
Yeah, I just discovered a gear bat on a servo, so I'm hoping I have one. Bummer. In my check.
Yeah, I went to check out my supplies the other day, and I found a can of. And I don't know what it happened or how but it developed a leak. And now I have a puddle of nitromethane sitting at the bottom of my flight box.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
It's a great smell, though.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, anybody is an RC pilot, the smell of that stuff, it's like, oh yeah.
It smells like you're going flying.
Oh yeah.
Even though I fly night electric most of the time now, it still smells that way to me. Yep.
All right, gentlemen. So it's past 10 o'clock here. I'm gonna go and I just got done with camping this weekend, this long weekend, and yeah,
boy.
I'm ready for bed, dude. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I'm still camping. Look at this here. I got my propane campfire going there, and
Nice.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Sounds fun.
Where are you camping at?
I'm on Cape Cod.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
not even
about
sure. I'm not even sure where Cape Cod is. So
I'm about 35 miles away from Craig Taylor, across the water.
I'm not even sure where Craig. No, I'm just kidding, Nantucket. But yeah, I get it. That's a long ass way from Florida. Just so you know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot cooler too.
Yeah, well, it's fucking hot as balls here. Just so you know.
It's a balmy 54 degrees.
Nice.
Yeah.
For this time of
All
year,
right.
for nighttime, that's not bad.
No.
All right. All right, guys. You guys have a great night.
You too. Have a good one.
Peace out.
What's up, brother?
And one more drops
Oh,
off.
there you go. Yeah, later it
We're kind of
gets.
light in here tonight, I'll tell you. Don't
Huh?
have Andrew in here.
Yeah, he's been kind of hasn't been on the last couple.
It looks like Craig
Been
had
busy.
some. His wife is watching the whole thing, so he couldn't show up today. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, my wife's inside watching some. I have no freaking idea. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
something
mine's
I don't want to
playing the
watch.
other end. Yep.
See, most guys are talking about their wives watching something on TV, and they're watching some chick for like, nah, my wife's, and they're watching MSNBC.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to watch that either.
Yeah.
There's nothing good on that.
No.
Oh.
Well, if you like comedy, I guess. I mean, personally, sorry guys if you don't. But
This stuff gives me a headache. I can't watch it. It's just like, oh,
oh,
come
I
on,
hear
really?
you, man. Yep. Well, there it is. Screwed up gear. I hope I have one. That'd be a bummer if I don't.
Hobby King will probably have it if you don't.
Oh no, not these.
Are that the nylon gears?
No, they're titaniums.
Oh, I had a bad gear once. I just coated with crazy glue and went with a triangle file and fixed it. Hey, it worked.
I wouldn't want to do that on this thing. It probably wouldn't last very long on this.
Nah,
This puts a lot of
but
load on.
this was a field repair, so
Sure.
yeah, field repair, crazy glue, and whatever dust you can find lying around. In this case, it was a little dirt from the ground mixed in with the crazy glue, and then hit it with a triangle file.
Yeah. Little pattern file. Yeah.
It flew for 3 charges before I left the field. So
Nice.
probably would have flown longer than that, but I went home and changed the gear when I got back.
Yeah, I get that. I wouldn't have thought about it. I've tried all kinds of crazy repairs at the field, but I've never done that one.
Funny thing is, when I got home, it's like I had, it's one of those things. You have piles of junk, and you get home and you're going through your junk pile. And it's like, okay, it's like what fits and what doesn't fit. It's like, oh, I got someone that kind of fits. It's a little tight, but then you again go with the triangle file and make it fit.
Yeah.
There's several things I always have my little flight box. Tube of crazy glue, roll of duct tape. You have to have at least that. I usually have a flat file. It's rounded on one side, one of the little jeweler's files, rounded with flat on one side, a triangle file, and again a roll of duct tape.
mean like that's it. Yeah.
Yep,
Just
gotta
pulled it
have
out of
them.
my box. Yep. Gotta have them. Yep. I carry
I
too
got
much
this-
crap with me when I fly RC, and I know it.
I carry it just for general work every day. I'm always following contactors and
Yeah, we used to buy, and I still do once in a while. You buy at the local, toy store these foam gliders.
Yep.
And in my Another thing I always carry in my bag is a razor file,
Mhm.
a razor saw.
Yep.
So we'll buy one of those, and you'll use a razor saw and cut out the ailerons, cut out the
Yep.
stabilizer, cut out the tail, and put your servos on. And if it crashes,
Who
you've got
cares?
your crazy glue. Fix it
Right.
on the field. If it doesn't, it costs $6.
Yep. I took one of those and did it with the straight wing and put a TD-051 Cox on it with ailerons and elevator. That thing could do freaking vertical eights. Except you had to have three filament tape on the wings or you'd break them. It still flapped.
Yeah, we used to do those with the old Cox engines, the little ones, and
Yep.
they were great. They'd fly great, and they're
Oh,
stupid
yeah.
cheap to make, but the nitromethane
Oh, yeah.
would dissolve the styrofoam. It was,
Hmm.
so you got to be
Well, it
really
takes a
careful filling
while.
up your fuel tank.
Yeah, no fuel leaks on something like that.
Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah, but my brother and my youngest brother, we used to go out all the time. There was a
Mhm.
local like a day camp nearby that
Mhm.
had a field, but it was in a hollow,
Mhm.
and the hollow was, I don't know, from the top to the bottom was maybe 35, 40 feet.
Mhm.
Perfect spot to launch from. So we'd either launch motor or launch gliders, and we'd be
Mhm.
flying like for 6 hours.
There was a guy at the airfield over the weekend had a little motor glider up there.
Mhm.
That thing was crazy. He shot almost vertical at one point with it. Went up, turned the motor off, and he was still climbing in the thermals.
Yep. Yeah,
At
I
one
hauled
point, he
a.
thought he lost it. He went to come down, and it started fluttering pretty bad.
Hmm.
Well, we have a local municipal airport near my house, and this is probably like 15 years back, and I had just finished a Cessna. No, it was a Piper. What the hell was it? I forget what it was, but it was a Piper, nice low wing.
Mhm.
I built the shit out of it. Originally, it
Mhm.
was supposed to be fabric covered, but I
Mhm.
balsa covered it, so it was a little overweight. But I put a bigger engine on there, and I realized I don't have any place that's long enough of a field that I can take this thing off of. So I go down to the local community and say, "Look, I've been flying out of here for how long now? I've got an RC plane. Can I use the end of the strip here? Nobody's flying today." It's like, yeah, why not?
There you go.
Took me 150 feet to get off the ground with that thing. That's how heavy it was.
Wow. Wow.
But it flew like a dream. The nice thing
Mhm.
about the heavier planes when you're doing this stuff is they fly more like the real thing.
Yep.
You
That's
get the
funny.
lightweight.
Yep. We always used to say if you're flying something that's a little scale, it never flies as good until after the first couple of crashes because they get heavier each time you fix them.
Oh yeah.
They fly smoother.
It just seems counterproductive to make them heavier, but I guess if the scale's not the right weight to
Oh,
scale.
it's kind of a joke, but yeah, they don't climb as good and they don't turn, but they just, yeah.
Oh yeah, you get a brand new one just finished. They climb like a bat out of
Mhm.
hell. After a few mishaps,
Mhm.
they fly and climb like a real plane.
Yep. 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 Right back.
I'm hoping to get my new wing to climb like I'm used to it, because I tell you that climb rate's different on that Mojo.
Oh, you're on a Mojo now?
Yeah, Mojo 5.
Oh, I'd love to see a Mojo 5. I got what the hell is mine at 2? It's an oldie. And it is a dog.
Yeah, it is. It's a Mojo 5, but it's a 26 meter. So when I go up, it's like, it doesn't snap up like I'm used to.
Yeah, mine's a 27. And granted, I'm not on a motor yet, but from my hill launches, everything is in slow motion. This is probably what you want for a beginner wing, but everything is dog slow.
It's one of those ones like, yeah, you pull an input on it and you wait, and then it happens.
Plus, if you dump the risers or they dump the brakes, you're all the way down to your thighs.
Yeah, I tell you, It was weird because I was up there at full throttle, let off the throttle. I'm waiting for the thing to dive forward. I was trying to catch it. I'm like, it never dies. It doesn't come forward on
No.
you at all. It just stays there.
It will a little bit, but you gotta, I mean, as far as catching it, yeah, it's a non-incident, just like nothing, because everything's in slow motion.
Well, I never got to catch it. Like I went up, I was actually like getting on the throttle and letting off, trying to get it to dive. And it's like nothing happened. It just like, I started
It
floating.
doesn't dive. It'll come from like here to here. Well, you can't see my hand, but from here to here.
Oh, I don't even think it moved. I was looking at that. I was like, it does. If it moved, it wasn't much. Like my K2, when I let off the throttle, it comes forward and I get that nice, dive down. There was nothing with this thing.
Oh, mine's an oldie and it's very heavy. As far as the modern ones, if you compare mine to the 5, actually mine may be a version 1. It's my kiting wing. I don't give a damn what it was. The nice thing I like about this is before they switched the wing fabric, so it's the Galvano fabric, which is UV. It's basically UV impervious. UV does not bother this stuff. So this was an old school wing that I bought on eBay of all places, because I knew I'm not going to fly the thing. Well, technically, no. You know how that works. But
You'll get a motor and you'll fly it.
Oh, I probably would, but I mean, bunny hops. I don't get, longest flight I've ever done is like, I don't know, 300 feet. But it's still, I mean, that thing, it comes up like a dream. It's floaty as all hell, and it's slow, and every input you do, just wait a second, it'll happen. But I love that wing. I think if I get a Spider 3 eventually and get a motor, I'm still gonna keep this old beast.
That's everybody seems to be flying the Spiders or the
Oh,
Roadsters.
I want that. I want the Roadster's nice. I want the lighter weight though, just a hair, because I'm used to this. I mean, it's a practice wing. It's old. It's boaty. It's compared to yours. It's probably yours is probably like maybe 2/3 the weight, if not less. But
It's
I don't
light.
give it
I'll
in.
tell you, when you lay it out, it's like, oh my god, that's a wing.
Oh yeah. Oh, mine is enormous. First thing I laid this thing out when I first got it. I mean, the biggest wing I'd flown previous was my traction kites, and I think it was probably the 15 meter. So I figured, I've been doing that for so many years. It's like, okay, well, this is no big deal. So I bought this thing. I laid it out. It's like, oh my fucking god, this thing's huge.
Yeah. Yep.
Plus the aspect ratio. So I mean, it's not only huge, it's wide.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Front to back,
That's what gets me. I lay it out. It's like it's super wide, and front to back, there's so much fabric there. It's like, holy crap.
Yep. Yeah, the big wings are big.
and mine has all kinds of mystery stains on it. One of the schools they used to fly out of a cow pasture. So
yeah,
just saying.
The funny thing, like, what gets me, like, just launching it, I'm so used to, like, I look up, I know where the K2's at. I look up for this one, I'm like, whoa, it's way over there.
Mhm.
Once the mojo gets in the air, though, it will lift you hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does go up.
Just whatever you do, it's going to take a minute.
And my thing was trying to figure out how to get back down with it. It was like, it wants to stay up there.
Yep.
That's a good thing in the wing, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. When you want to come down, it's not good. When you're trying to get it to come down, it doesn't want to.
Yep.
And my first bunny hop, it was on like a, I don't know, it was like a 10-foot slope. It was like a 10-foot over, like, I don't know, 50 feet. So it was a nice shallow slope. Figured that's a great starter hill. Got it up in the air, and it just went and went and went and went. It's like, is this thing coming down?
Yeah.
Catch a little thermal there, and you just keep going up, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually caught it was, going down a nice steady rate, and then you hit just a tiny gust, and you'll go back up again, and it was settling down and go back up again. It's like, all right, time to, you know, yank those brakes a little. And then you start getting a little nervous because it's the first time up, and it's like, yeah, I'm pulling those brakes a little harder than I probably should.
Yeah.
Come into a skid. I think I still have grass stains from my first bunny hop.
It just gives the wing a little character when you get some stains on it.
No, it's not the wing. It's my pants. It's the grass stains.
Safe at home base. Yep. Slid in. Yep.
I got a little grass stain on my knees here from Saturday night's flight.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, mine, it was a nice, relatively gentle landing, coming in. And again, it's floaty as hell, so it's not coming in hard no matter what you do. But you come in and you realize that, shit, I've been running up and down this hill for 3 hours, and there's dew on the grass now, and you end up on your ass sliding down the hill.
Yeah. True.
What's your plans for the poker run, Keith?
Well, if I get to go, which is what I'm hoping, it's to leave Friday morning and head for Florida because I'm on call till 7:30 Friday morning. So, and then head down. Just go.
How long
Probably gonna try. Huh? I
long-
can't stay but the weekend. Just maybe through Monday. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm dying to see one of these events up my area. I mean, it's never going to happen, but everything's down Florida or, someplace south because that's where everybody wants to go. I'm going to see something up here. It's like, oh, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'll get an invite to one of the events. It's like, oh, what now? It's probably down in Florida. I'll do it. I'm interested, but I can't go because I'm not driving 2,000 miles. And I'll find, oh, wow, it's 20 miles away from me. Oh, my God.
It'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen.
You got to
Yeah.
start flying, then you could sponsor one up your way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
One together
4
right now.
pilots.
People are so so crazy to go to fly-ins, and there's nothing going on.
Yep.
Well, all of our local fly-ins have been canceled because, we have one at a local municipal airport that we have every year. I've been going into, probably going, I don't know, over the last 30 years, every year. And it's getting less and less aviation and more bouncy house and large trucks,
Shame.
Yeah, it's a shame it goes that way.
Yeah.
It's
it is.
commercialized.
Well, it's good to get the kids there because that's what
Yeah.
they want. They want the kids to come. So they have flight simulators set up in the hangar, and they'll have the bouncy houses for little ones, and they'll have like fire trucks for them to climb all over. But I mean, I used to love taking my kids and then my grandkids when they were really young down to these things, but now they've gotten to the point where it's like, why bother going to an airport? Because all they're going to be doing is looking at trucks and jumping around in the bouncy house in the ball pit.
Which is fun, but yeah.
Although my oldest grandson impressed one of my old flight instructors. He's like screwing around. It's like, oh, he went to play with the flight simulator and made a perfect landing. It's like, and he was impressed. It's like,
cool.
He's been flying my flight sim for since he was 2 years old.
So, there you go. There you go.
Surprised your instructor didn't take him up in a plane and go, here, try this one.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I'm one of the kind of grandfathers. I'll have my grandkids on my lap flying the flight sim, and when I can get them away from my wife, of course. But it's like, oh, come visit Grandpa. And we'll fly airplanes, and they'll be sitting on my lap, hitting the yoke, and I'll be doing everything else.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
My still all-time favorite memory is, it was still when I was in flight school, and I went down to take my youngest son. He was 3 years old at the time. It's like, I'm going to take my boy up for a demo flight. So I hired the plane, and my instructor was actually the pilot in command. And so we get the thing and we get in the plane, and he's like, yeah, take the controls. It's like, really? Cool. You know, I had probably like, maybe 8 hours flight time at that point, but it's like, yeah, okay, this is great.
Cool. Sounds like it.
Because my wife didn't know I was actually flying the plane until we landed. Thank God.
She wouldn't have been happy, yeah.
No, I mean she hates flying. She hates.
Yeah.
She doesn't hate the idea of flying. She just. I don't care what I'm flying. I don't care if I, someday, bite the bullet and get my commercial ticket and I'm flying like 737s. She still won't fly with me, but she's certainly not going to fly with me in a Cessna.
Interesting.
Anything that has less than 100 passengers, I don't think she'll fly in. She won't.
That's funny because most pilots I know are more comfortable flying because you can't fly it. I'd rather be in something I can handle the controls on.
Oh yeah. I'm the same way. It's like I hate to say this, but I go on a commercial landliner. I'm taking Dramamine because I get airsick, something terrible. If I'm at the wheel,
Wow.
if I have my hands on that yoke, I can do anything. I don't even notice, But if someone else is flying, nope.
Then the problem is commercial flights, the pilot's not flying the plane anyway, the computer is.
Yeah,
They're just
that's
sitting back
true.
babysitting it.
That's pretty much true.
There is no pilot in command. It's all AI controlled.
Yeah, nowadays, I used to talk to pilots back in the day. I mean, the commercial guys, and it's like, I had, saved and put all this hours into doing this, and now I'm a glorified bus driver.
Yep, I hear you, man. Kind of it.
I actually talked to one of them that this was pre-para mode and pre-paraglider. This is probably 20 years ago. And he flew the heavy iron, the big stuff. And on his off days, he would fly these nice high aspect ratio gliders. And he'd be out soaring all day long. And it's like this so much more enjoyable than flying an airliner. It's not even the same at all.
That's the pilot you want to have in the controls when you have engine failure in a plane, because he's going to get you back.
This guy's a hoot, though. Kind of guy that'll. I've never flown with him, but I've heard stories that he'll come on the intercom and instead of giving the usual spiel, he'll like tell a silly joke or make some inane comment, instead of usually it's like, welcome aboard such and such airlines. We are now flying at 20,000 feet or 30,000 feet. If you look out your left wing, you'll see this and this, and he'll always insert some random joke, which is kind of what you.
Yep. Oh, excuse me. Dang. Yeah.
I always like the flight attendants on their doing their pre-flight briefing. I always tell you, there's a smoking section. You go out in the wing. If you can light it, you can smoke it.
There you go.
On the wing. Yeah. No kidding.
Still can't believe I'm sitting out here.
Yeah.
This
Nice
little
out.
campfire is doing a great job.
Awesome.
If I walk 10 feet away from this thing, no.
No cold, huh?
It's 95 here today, so
Yeah, rub it in.
I'm sitting here in air conditioning. I had to go outside and mow the yard today.
I don't need air conditioner. If I turn this flame off, it's 54. Sitting right here at 70, 75, 80 degrees. But I have the campfire sitting, it's a little propane campfire in a can. And it's sitting 2.5 feet away from me. Without that, no.
Earlier you had the big fire tornado lit up, I seen.
Oh yeah, this thing's great. I got the it's one of those fire towers with the quartz glass tube going up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I love that thing. But it tends to wash out your video, so I shut it off.
There's some clubs down Pittsburgh that have those, but they're like 4 times the size of that. They're like 20 foot tall. They're huge.
Well, this one is about 12 foot ish.
That's still a decent size. I see a lot of guys get the little like 3 or 4 foot ones you sit on your table.
Oh, those are useless. This is a commercial grade. And I paid a little, like I probably paid $100 extra for it, but it puts out like 1,000 extra BTUs.
Nice thing they put out heat and light, which is kind of cool.
Well, that's the best part.
Yep.
The heat's great because the heat only spreads so far. If you're like, you can still get the heat if you're, I don't know, maybe 6-8 feet away from it. You'll still get some heat, but it's the atmosphere it provides.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have deck parties on this place, and we'll have, 20 people on here, and we'll have the thing fired up, and most of the deck is empty. They're all hanging around this thing.
What's that thing cost?
This one, it was about. This is actually, it's all stainless steel. I got it about 12 years ago, and it still looks like the day I bought it.
Nice.
But it cost me about, I think about, what was it? Maybe $280. And they haven't gone up much. They actually may have come down, to tell you the truth. They're not that bad. They're not bad at all.
Cool.
Plus, you can get this one here.
Your audio muted, Bob.
Yeah, with a simple gasket change, this thing, it comes plumb for propane, but you switch out a jet in the input, and you can run it on natural gas.
Oh wow, nice.
I think that's like down Pittsburgh, the clubs that have them outside, like their smoking area, and out front. I think they're all natural gas. They have them like just bolted down to the ground and plumbed in.
Cool.
Well, even with propane, I have a little 20-pound propane cylinder in that. This thing will last me an entire weekend, like
wow,
4 or 5 hours a night. My little campfire in a can. This thing will last. If I crank it up full blast, it'll give me 12 hours on a 20-pounder.
Oh, that's not bad.
No,
not at all.
Nice.
We have some coffee tables up at the one club I do, and they're 2 foot by 2 foot, but the fire area is like 1 foot by 1 foot with the rocks in it. We get 2 to 3 weekends out of a 20-pound bottle if they don't turn it up all the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing here, this will last me easily. And if I feel this will take a 30-pounder too, which I usually don't do. If I buy a 30, it's reserved for the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
But I can if I want to. I just don't want to spend $45 for a tank and just have it and then have to fill it, But this thing, full blast, it'll last me a good 3 solid weekends running 3 hours a night.
Wow.
You guys bite the bullet, get you a 100-gallon tank, set it up, and tie everything to it.
Oh yeah. Well, around here, the 100 gallons, you need to have a permit and a plumber to install it, which is a pain in the ass. You can go up to a 60 here.
You can't do the 100-pounders even.
You can do it, but you have it professionally done. Technically, I'm not sure anybody gives a shit.
He has to screw the hose in and turn the valve, huh? It's the same fittings. That's what gets me.
Yeah, so well, even 100 gallons, the same fittings. They get the same outlet a grill tank has. Even the 500 gallons do.
And we have a 250 up the, like a couple hundred yards up the road that we use for our pool shower. And I love that thing. We fill it up twice a season. It's used continuously all season. If I put one of those behind my trailer, I won't have to fill the thing up at all season, maybe 2 seasons.
Yeah, probably 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you leave the heat on all winter.
And we're here from April through November. So April, the furnace is running a lot. November, October sometimes, but November the furnace is running pretty much full time. So we'll by November, that time of year comes around, we'll go through a 30-pounder in 7-8 days, just from the furnace.
It's not
Wow.
bad though.
No, it's
Yeah.
not bad. It's
No.
well insulated. It's technically a 3-season trailer, and we stretched that a lot. We've come down here in January and fired the thing up, and we have a space heater inside too, so that supplements it.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
But
Yeah, if you're
in
not
January, the furnace at full blast and the space heater, it's you can lucky to get up to 65 in there.
So Nick, how come you don't have a robo mower?
Yeah, I got a remote controlled, but there's too
Was
much
it
stuff
you
in the
who
yard.
Was he who posted the guy who put the mower on a rope around the pole?
Yeah.
It was a hoot.
I do something even crazier. I ride around on a riding mower and I got the weeder laying across my leg and I weed eat without getting off.
I've done that.
Sure, why not?
The new one's nice. It's a 4-stroke, but it's electric start. So you just push the button to start it and give her some throttle.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we got a what the hell is the thing? It's I think it's a 28-ish diesel tractor mower, and that thing's great because it's a when everything works, because right now the solenoid's fucked. So
that's no good.
then a couple of years ago, someone's come out with a great idea and said, "Hey, let's buy a Kubota." It's like, okay, great. We're looking at these 45, 60 horsepower models, and someone came up with, "Oh, we got a great deal on this," and it gets delivered, and it's the same size freaking engine as our freaking lawn tractor. It's like, oh, what good is that?
That didn't buy you anything. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, you gotta get the good diesel Kubota. It makes a big difference.
Well, that's a diesel, but it's the smallest one they make. Strangely
Okay.
enough, we ended up buying on the tri-mount in the back. We ended up buying a trailer hitch for the
A
thing.
little super compact.
Yeah. Oh, it's a tiny one. I mean, it's decent. It'll you can fill up a full bucket full of whatever. We've lugged entire bucketfuls of gravel with no problem. We have to have a 200-pound concrete block in the back to counterbalance it, but still.
Yeah.
But we bought a trailer hitch for the thing, and last year they said, okay, well, this thing will lift any trailer you want, no problem. It's like, we were skeptical. So someone who brought a new trailer and we had to pull the old one out. So I hooked this thing up to it. It pulled it out like it wasn't even attached. It's like, wow.
Oh, nice.
I was surprised. I mean, you gotta remember, this thing's the size, the engine is the size of, an average lawn tractor. I was expecting just to bog and the wheels to spin. It's like, nope.
Diesel makes a difference, dude.
Yeah, the torque is there.
Yeah, no kidding. As soon as you make it diesel. Yep.
I've got a Cub Cadet that's actually got a little 3-cylinder Kubota in it. It was one of the last
Really?
ones that International built before they sold out to MTD.
Yeah, before they ruined the Cub Cadet, you mean?
Yeah, this is it's a larger Cub Cadet model. It's still a quiet line
Mhm.
setup, 3-cylinder diesel. I took it and put a turbo on it, turned the pump up a little bit, but it'll drag everything I got around here for trailers.
Of course.
Mhm.
Oh, funny story. We ended up on the Kubota, the fuel filler. It's one of the big boys, but it's about at seat height. So you're picking up a 5-gallon diesel tank and trying to fill that thing. Some of the guys can't do it. So we ended up buying one of those self siphons. It's a tube with a brass end on it, and it's like a big marble ball bearing in it, so you'll
Yeah.
shake
Shaker,
it.
shaker hose.
Yeah.
So
Jail
we-
pump.
So we bought one of those, and we were using it for like 6 months, and then went to the shed to. It's like, where the hell is the thing? It's like, couldn't find it. A couple months later, found out someone was in there looking for a hose for something, and they found this thing. It's like, what the hell is this with the weird brass? They cut the end off it and used it for something else. It's like,
Oh man, that stinks.
You can buy those at Harbor Freight now.
Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, they're
Oh,
stupid
yeah.
cheap. Just to go in and find out, it's like, if you don't know what it is, don't cut
Don't
the end off
touch
it.
it.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's something every paramedic pilot should carry in their on the motor itself.
Oh yeah.
You can always grab one of those and give your buddy some fuel or take fuel from someone else if you need it.
I did see a nice fuel tank, a fuel can. It had a small electric pump in it, so the whole thing sits on the ground. You pick it up like a fuel nozzle at a filling station. Push a button, and
Yeah, they're expensive though. I've seen those.
this one was about. It wasn't cheap, but it was like $120. And it was a 5-gallon fuel tank, and it had a pre-fill. It was made for two-stroke, so it had a small section on the side that you'd put the two-stroke oil in like a graduated cylinder built into the tank. You'd pull a valve and it would dump it in, and you're good to go.
It's probably built for boat motors for guys that got a premix all the time.
It probably was.
Probably, yeah.
So I've got mine's a 40-gallon, like a fuel dolly. It's a metal can that's got the crank pump on it with
That's
the
a
fuel
big
nozzle.
boy.
I've got an 80,
Yeah,
I think it's
I
an 80
picked
or
up-
90 too, but the little 40s, it's nice. It's just a square box, 3 foot tall, but it's got a dolly built in it so you can wheel it out and just crank the fuel in.
Tell you the truth, I just picked up that little super cheap. Was it $8 or $9 they sell at Harbor Freight and Northern Tool? Uses the 2D batteries.
Yeah.
And those things work amazing. The only thing you got to watch is the contact at the bottom where the ring screws on. Eventually starts pushing into the plastic because it's, I think, a little soft, But other than that, man, I mean, I use it. My fuel tank nozzle is behind my seat. It's kind of a weird place for it on my paramotor, but this makes it super, super easy to fuel.
I gotta love Harbor Freight though.
Oh,
I used to buy Snap-on and all the expensive tools, and then
yeah.
I had to urgently pick up a set of impact sockets, and there was nothing open. I went down to Harbor Freight, picked up a full, I think it was a 16-piece impact socket set for $15. It's like,
there you go.
It's like, where the
They're
hell
just as good as the Snap-ons, really. They're made at the same place.
But the nice thing about that is if one breaks, it's $15 for the whole freaking set.
You got it.
Yeah, but
It's
if one
$15
breaks, you take it back, they give you another one.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Or with Snap-on, you got to wait
I
till the
gave
truck
up on
comes around.
Snap-on though.
That's true.
Yeah, I gave up on Snap-on years ago.
Oh
I
yeah.
ended up switching over to Craftsman for most of my stuff because they have the same guarantee, lifetime, and I've never had a Craftsman wrench or socket break on me ever.
Yeah.
You're not trying hard enough. I broke them.
Yeah, I did break a
Yeah.
socket wrench once, but I've never broken a socket.
Well, you can if you put it on impact.
I got a whole 5-gallon bucket usually. Once a year, I'll take a 5-gallon bucket worth of Craftsman wrenches and sockets that's busted and take them in.
And you know what's funny? Unless they show something where you obviously abused it, they just give you new ones.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Although I did
yeah.
have one, I bought a set of Craftsman wrenches, sockets about 6 years ago, and it was the 1/2-inch drive socket. So I'm great as I got a brand new set. I don't have to worry about mismatched this and that. And I'm going through the set, and I was working on my car, and I grabbed, I forget what size it was, but I grabbed the size that I thought it should be. It's like, oh, this doesn't fit. So I grabbed the next size up, and it's like, boy, what's way too big. And then I grabbed the size under that, and I realized that the two sizes were identical. They mislabeled one of the sockets.
Oh man.
So like the 15 and the 17, like the 17 was actually a 15 that was mislabeled.
Oh man.
But they corrected. I brought it back. It's like, yeah, but still, it was I'm in the middle of doing car work. And it's like, really?
who would ever take them out and measure every one of them before you use them? You know,
Yeah.
you think you're gonna be right.
I start going with the Harbor Freight stuff. Like I start buying some of their just open end box wrenches because I
Mhm.
like the feel of them. The way they set them up, they're a lot more ergonomic than what the Craftsman ones are.
Hmm.
And I bought a set. Oh, it's been probably 10, 12 years ago. Figured, oh, they were cheap. You know, if I break it, I don't care. I was using them on the pulling tractor all the time. And I still have the same wrenches today, and I've bought more of them because it's just, they feel nice. They're marked easy. They're like the Craftsman are hard to read sometimes. The way the Harbor Freight did them, you can really read them easily.
Well, the Craftsman are chrome on chrome. So it's, you know, they kind of,
Mhm.
it's a matte finish on the numbers, but it's chrome on a matte finish chrome.
Yeah.
The Harbor Freight's like it's stamped.
Oh,
Yeah, you can read it
no
real. Even when they get
question.
dirty, you can read them.
Yeah.
Then I've got some of the nice like swivel sockets, and one that actually I wanted swivels. It pivots in one spot and also extends. And I've not seen anything like it except for at Harbor Freight, and I love it. And I bought a spare thing. Oh, it's going to break one day, and I've had that for 5 or 6 years. And I'll put breaker bars on it, stand on it, and everything else. Ain't broke it yet.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I use for my Harbor Freight impact sockets. I'll use on the breaker bar,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll stick a 15-foot steel pole on the end of the breaker bar. You know, for really, you're doing like an axle or something, and like a 3-foot long breaker bar is not going to do it. So you stick a 15-foot steel pole on it and then hang on it.
Mm-hmm.
Harbor
I'm more
Freight has
known.
not let me down.
I'm more known for the 4-foot breaker bar I have has a ring on the end of it. You stick it on the ratchet, and I tie a chain to that ring, and I use a ratchet strap or a come along to pull it.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Trust
I'm
me,
gonna have
the
to
bolts
find-
coming loose or breaking.
I'm finally gonna have to replace my, I think, 9-piece set of impact sockets I bought from Harbor Freight in ancient times. I couldn't even tell you what decade it was, but it was. I finally wore one of them out. I think it's starting to get a little wobbly, but it took a long time to wear that socket out, and it's all impact work. Usually
And the funny
taking
thing is,
blades
they're
off
getting
tractors
better.
and stuff. Oh yeah. I've had this set a long time now. I can't bitch. I didn't pay anything for them, and
Yeah, I actually had an incident one year. I was working on, I think I was replacing had to pull the knuckle off of one of my cars on the steering knuckle off, and my my compressor, the seal went on it. So I was like, shit. I couldn't find the right O-ring to replace it at the time. So I ran down a Harbor Freight to see what they had, and I bought this. I think it was like cost me $27 ish for an electric impact gun that was supposed to have like a 300 pound torque on the thing. And I brought it home, and I almost wrenched my shoulder out of my socket with this thing. It was so powerful. It's like, oh my god, I got this.
That's a lot of torque.
Like it was like it was under $30.
That 110 electric one they sell. I've got a few of those. Those things are, you got to be careful. Those things will snap the lug nuts off a car if you're not careful what you're doing.
But this thing, even with that much power, it took me 3 days to get a couple of the bolts off, because I actually ended up hitting it with PP blast, did nothing. Let it sit for 2 days, did nothing. Hit it with a blowtorch, then PP blast, let it sit for 2 days. Ended up 3 or 4 cycles of heat in PP blast, and then I gave up on the impact gun, and that's when I broke out a piece of shit old impact socket I had that I didn't care if I snapped. Stuck the longest breaker bar I could stick on there, and then stuck the pole from my floor jack on the end of that.
Yep.
Eventually it cracked loose, but I had one side all the way done, the other side one bolt out, and one just would not budge. No matter what I did, it just wouldn't budge.
Wow.
It was a bitch.
Yeah.
By the way, if you ever buy a Hyundai Sonata, especially this one here, it's a 2000, I don't know, 5-ish. I probably told Nick this, but if you ever, what is the simplest job in a car to do? Swapping out the fucking alternator, right?
Not on a
It's-
Hyundai.
No,
Depends.
it's usually a 15-minute job, right?
Can be.
On mine, now this is the most insane, and I had to I checked everywhere. I ended up finding a factory service manual eventually, and they gave the step-by-step. And I read the step-by-step, and it's like, no fucking way, this cannot be. I YouTubed it, I did everything I could find, and no, this is exactly what you have to do. So first you have to you have to remove the engine mounts, jack up the engine 4 inches, remove the drive axle, remove the steering knuckle, because there is so little space to get the alternator, because the way it's sitting, you cannot get it out no matter what. I had the alternator technically out in 10 minutes. I tried every conceivable position, every angle. It would not drop down. It would not come up. It just wouldn't come out. You literally had to engine mount off, engine up, drive axle off, drop it down the bottom. It took me 3 days to do an alternator on this freaking thing. 3 days. It's every other car I've done. Jesus, I must have done 30 alternators over the years. It's 15 minutes. Every other car I've ever had. Nope, not this one.
You want to try a fun one? Try a starter on a Cadillac North Star motor.
Where's that one?
In the top of the valley under the fucking intake.
Yeah, I seen
Really?
that. Yeah. Friend of mine had one. Yeah, no thanks.
And it's not a single-sided intake. It's a two-piece intake. Actually, 3-piece. 2-piece, there's a plate below it. Just to get to the starter.
What's even normally easier than changing any of that stuff? The spark plugs, except for one GM. Which one was it that you had to remove the engine to change? A Buick. You had to remove the engine to change the 2 rear plugs.
Oh, wow.
It was an engineering project that didn't go right. They didn't discover it after they delivered the cars. You believe that one?
That was the 3800 motor, the 3.8 liter with the supercharger was like that. You had to take a bunch of stuff off.
Yeah, sometimes every once in a while. Oh, Woody says on here, he was commenting some more. He said that it wouldn't have looked so bad on that landing, but the phone fell out. That's why it looked so bad. That's why it looked like he crashed.
Well, that's what the tumble was, I guess.
Yeah, all it was just a butt landing. He said nothing. He said everybody's all worried.
That's funny.
Yep.
Wow, that chat's going on. I didn't even check back on that chat in like an hour.
That's a long one. Yeah, I just went back and looked at it again because I hadn't said, I'd made a comment to him about didn't look like a fun landing. And he was like, yeah.
I didn't realize Linda had commented a few times on this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she did.
Well, she's always watching guys when they're flying live.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's a hoot.
Oh,
I'm really surprised that she hasn't pestered Robert into taking up for a tandem or something.
Well, she's actually been talking to him. She really wants to do one. As soon as she can get back to San Diego, he's got somebody to do it. So she's gonna get to take one.
She'll get a tandem and she'll be hooked on it, and she'll be getting a glider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Although I don't blame Robert for not taking her up himself, because if my mom asked me to take her up, it's like no. Even if I had flying like 500 hours under my belt, it's like no, I'm not taking it up. It's like find someone else once you're in the air and have a little, get your air legs, then maybe I'll go flying with you. But I am not taking you up.
It'd be different if I was teaching people tandems all the time and stuff like that, and then you were regularly doing them. And like my instructor here, Jerry, it's like, that wouldn't bother me then, But if you're not doing them all the time, yeah, I'd be nervous as hell taking family members up. Yep.
Yeah, your first time especially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, not the way.
I don't think Robert's taken any tandems yet at all.
He hasn't. He hasn't, and that's what he's told her. He said he doesn't even own anything to do it yet. I think he'd rather buy a motor than the tandem rig right now.
Yeah, he's jonesing for a motor. I know that.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he's a skinny guy, so let's get him an Atom 80. He'd be awesome.
Yeah, all he needs is an Atom 80 on a Maverick frame. And
I can't believe how many people telling him, "Oh, get it." No, you want a Moster. You don't want the Atom. And it's like, I hate to tell you, at that weight, you want the Atom. You want light.
Yeah, especially he's a paraglider pilot.
Yeah,
he's more likely to use the motor just to get up to the thermals and kill the motor like what Kyle does.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, sometimes Kyle doesn't. He gets out the the hadron, and he goes out and plays too. But yeah, but you're right. He's got the motor for the mission at the time.
I
He
love
goes up
Kyle's
to that
flights.
animating in that little Xeno all the time and just goes
Oh, yeah.
buzzing around, you know?
Oh,
He
yeah,
does that a
he'll
lot,
keep
you're
the
right.
engine just at idle, just enough to,
Mhm.
so it's just running.
Mhm.
Sometimes he'll be flying along and he'll keep it just at like station keeping. So he'll
Mhm.
if he's doesn't have any lift, he's at a no drop.
12%. Yeah. Well, the idea is just to try and tune it so you're flying just like you would in the paraglider. So you have a very light sink rate, not the big one. Of course, he tells me when him and I were talking about it, because I kept threatening to build a one with no clutch because this prop stops when you shut it off, then less drag. And he's like, yeah, he says, on the other hand, if you can thermal with the prop dragging back there at idle, he says that's even harder. So it's it's better for you. And yeah, I can see that.
See, I
I can
kind of
see that.
disagree with that. The guys that talk about, I like the clutch versus no clutch because of the, if you shut the engine off, you can glide better. Unless you have a foldable prop or variable pitch prop, it's going to drag.
A big difference. No, it makes a big difference. That prop, when you have a clutch, is being forced to spin. It becomes a disc this big around, basically dragging you like a drogue chute. But if you have a prop that's stopped, I've flown 2 different motors, one each way, and I can tell you it's day and night on the same wing.
Really?
Day and night, yeah.
You figure
Yeah,
if it was
one of
spinning,
them-
it would be less drag on it.
You'd think
No,
so.
'cause it actually is high drag. That increases the drag because it's air going through it like a pinwheel.
Hmm.
If I have just a single narrow piece of wood going through the air or carbon going through the air versus a piece this big around like a parachute, the parachute's going to slow me down more.
Hmm.
And the wing and the prop works like a parachute when it's spinning.
It's kind of the best backwards of
Yeah.
GA because
Yeah.
a GA you want your prop spinning, but you
Mhm.
feather it.
Mhm.
You can't do it with a paramotor, but still.
Right. Yeah. Well,
And
feather
until
would
someone
be
comes out with
ideal,
an actual speed adjustable prop for a paramotor.
Yep. Well, yeah, in flight, that's true. Well, the ones that fold back, they've made some of those. Those are pretty cool. I'll admit that. The
I've
fold
seen
back
them for
props.
electric stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
motor
you
gliders have those.
Yep. They've got some paramotors that have had them too. There's a guy that developed one that looks like a paraglider harness with a motor in the back and a folding prop. So his idea is, you don't start the motor until after you're in forward position. So if you're launching a reverse, you bring it up with the motor off, you bring the wing up, you turn around, you now hit the power, the prop's behind you, and it's back a little bit, because it's more like a paraglider harness with a pod harness. And then literally when you stop it, it breaks the prop, the motor, and stops the motor from turning, so the prop folds back again. So, and you can't reach it from your seat. So it's pretty safe. It's actually pretty cool, but you got to be a smaller guy to fly it. I looked at it and got all excited when I saw it. Ooh, that looks so cool for just going up in motor glider and it's like, yeah, you got to be 160 pounds or something like that. And I'm like, oh man, what a waste.
No, you can still do it. You just need a bigger motor.
Yeah, unfortunately, you need to build the whole new unit because his is designed all around that weight, the harnesses and everything else. You can't fly big guys in his. You'd have to start from scratch.
Well, some of the
but it could be
some
done.
of the
Oh,
some
yeah,
of
no.
the motor glider motors,
Mm-hmm.
the electrics or the gas,
Mhm.
you can get any size prop you want that's folding in those things.
Oh yeah. Yep. But it's big thing is getting one with the right that adapts to your plate and making sure it's built for that. And yeah, it's a neat idea. I've seen a couple of them now done that way, and they do make. And the guys are like, yeah, it's just like flying a paraglider when you shut the motor off.
I couldn't
Because
see
it's
why you
actually
couldn't
the
build something like
paraglider
that.
harness. And, yeah.
Why couldn't you build a prop like that for the Atom 80 on like a Maverick frame that when the motor's off or idled, it folds back?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are extreme though. They don't want to hoop. They don't want anything back there. They want nothing.
They
Oh,
want
no
less
hoop
drag.
either.
No hoop, no nothing. Yeah, they just want a paraglider harness with a special built frame built behind you. And that one guy, he actually was when he was getting it ready, getting in, he actually has a stand it sits on. And he doesn't sit on the ground. It's like a paraglider harness,
I guess that
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, unless you're, if you throw that thing to idle, the prop's going to fold up anyways. There's nothing to get your arms
Well,
tangled
in
in.
this case with electric, it's totally stopped. You know, the
Yeah.
prop's absolutely stopped. I mean, yep. Which
Unless
is
you get your
nice.
throttle cable stuck in it, you're pretty much golden.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, being electric, it's probably just a remote control throttle.
Most of them don't do that because too much chance. I've seen some of the electric skateboards and that use that, and they don't always work as reliably as you'd like.
Yeah, Aviator tried the electric throttle.
Yeah.
And they abandoned it because it was
The
just
remote
one
control.
extra step that went. If it goes bad, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You got a
It's a
transmitter
neat
receiver
idea.
that can file up in that.
Yep.
Well, they tried that whole thing with the full wireless throttle, and it worked well, and there was very little lag time, barely noticeable. But we're worried that if the battery in the throttle went, it could be stuck in full blast, and you'll be up the creek.
Well, that or it'll shut off depending on how you're set up.
You have to set up to
Either
shut
way
off.
could
You'd never
be-
want it to
yeah.
stay full auto.
Yeah. On
But
the
there's-
other hand, if it stayed full blast, you'd be climbing and you can always shut the switch off, the kill switch. If you got a remote, you'd have to have one on the frame.
Yeah, you'd have to have some way to kill it just for safety.
Yep.
It had to
But
be
if but if it
reachable
shuts-
from the pilot.
But if it shuts off and you're foot dragging, that could be interesting or close.
Well, you guys, Sean, what happens when your motor dies on a foot drag?
Oh yeah, I
He
hear
did
ya.
that?
Yeah, he did. Palm Bay,
Yeah.
right?
No, he was
Where
up
was
here.
he
No,
at?
it was the other Sean. PPG
Oh, the
Grandpa.
other Sean. Oh, he did it. Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
I
last
didn't-
week he was out foot dragging and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ran
anytime
out
you
of
say
fuel.
Sean and crazy shit, I think of Sean Nasgar.
Yeah, me too. He's the one running out of fuel trying to miss stuff at Palm Bay. That's why I said that. I figured it
no,
was.
he didn't run out of fuel. He took off and the spark plug fouled on him. Motor shut down.
Oh, okay. I knew his engine quit. Okay.
Yeah, it was right on takeoff.
Yeah.
He broke ground about 50 to 100 foot. The motor just went flap.
Yep. Ooh. Yeah, I'm due to change mine now too. I've kind of stretched this one a little bit. I don't usually do that.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
always a good
taking
idea.
I've been taking to practicing kiting. We have a mosquito sprayer. It's like a 25 horsepower 2-stroke with a 10-gallon mosquito solution tank on the back. So I've been taking to practicing kiting with that freaking thing on my back.
Oh my God. It's like
Or you
having
give
a
yourself
motor
motor
on.
training.
Yeah, there you go.
He's
Shoot,
got the right idea. Get
There
a
you
simulator
go.
for the motor, you know?
it's the
That's
same
kind of a
idea.
simulator.
Yep.
It simulates the weight and it doesn't simulate
Yep.
the torque, but it simulates having to run with the damn thing on your back.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot different running with an open harness with no weight compared to running with a motor on your back.
On the other hand, though, once you throttle up, it's usually actually easier.
No, you're not running. You're just trying to
Lean
keep
back and
your feet
right.
under you.
Yeah.
Just lean back and let it push you. That's all you do. Yep.
Yeah, I
Once
gotta
you
get myself
get
a
on that
motor.
throttle, you don't have to run real hard. It's pushing you.
Oh.
You're trying not to go face planting.
Yep. You just lean
And
back.
my first step is get a flyable wing. Then I'll get myself a motor.
Well,
Technically, I
that's
could
helpful.
probably fly this thing, but I don't know.
It's a plus to know you have a good safe wing.
Yeah.
It's really a plus.
It's nice to
I mean-
you find you one of them deals on Craigslist or one of those sites or even eBay. You got a motor and a wing together.
You'd be surprised how many deals are out
Like I
there.
did.
Even on Facebook Marketplace, on the different ones, the different places. I've seen guys selling stuff for pretty decent prices sometimes.
I've seen
Yes.
some good ones on there, but I'm kind of leery about buying something off Facebook, because it's, what the hell is this coming
That's where I
from?
bought my motorcycle from. That's where I bought my current paramotor wing from. That's where I bought.
No, dude, find one
I bought
local
two
and go look at
paramotor
it. I mean,
wings. Yeah, that's the trick, is to buy one where you can go look at it. That's what I did on the wing and the motorcycle.
Yeah,
I
there's
drove
none around
over
here. I mean, I found plenty of decent deals. I
Yeah.
found a motor wing combination, recent hours on both, and it was,
Mhm.
I think the whole thing was like, I don't know, 5,500,
Okay.
but it was, 6,000 miles away. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
that's a problem. Yeah.
you
it's
gotta
not-
find one that's
it's
like
not a-
1,000 miles away
yeah.
and you just go drive and take a look at it, pick it up.
Yeah, it's not a deal if you got to spend, if you can't see it, you don't know it. If you knew somebody in the area that could check it out, that's different, then it's worth maybe doing it. But yep. Oh, trust me, I drove all the way to the East Coast one time to look at a plane, a Falcon, and we drove all the way back home without it. I've done more than one trip to go look at something and turn around and leave because it's not what they say it is.
Well, the
Yep.
trick you gotta do, you gotta come to one of these bigger fly-ins with some
Yep.
cash in your pocket, because there's always gear for sale.
Well, I was actually at the time looking for a Falcon ultralight, which is kind of like hen's teeth. They're very rare to find these days. And at the time I thought I found one and it turned out to be a piece of crap. You never know, you
I'm
know.
trying to remember which one the Falcon is.
That's a Canard. It's swept back wing Canard, has the fiberglass and what do you call it? Kevlar fuselage. Has a retractable nose.
I've seen a
gear.
few Canard ultralights. I'm not sure.
This is a
picturing
really
this one,
sleeked
though.
out one, real sleeked out. It's got swept back tips, tip rudders, and
That was retractable front nose gear on that even.
yeah, it had we call it repositionable for the FAA now. Is that way under light sport you can leave it alone. You don't have to lock it. Because repositionable means you use it for kneeling only. The fact that it's up in the air has nothing to do with reality.
Well, even the long EZ, those always had
Yeah.
retractable nose gear, and that was
Yeah.
it. The rear gear was fixed.
Yep.
Yeah, but the amount of drag you cut out by pulling that gear back under, world of
Mhm.
difference.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is the reason why you almost have to is because like on the Falcons, if you don't, you have to put weight in the seat or it'll tip back on its tail without somebody in it. It actually
Mhm.
won't sit on the mains. And I know that we had one of them over here that was like that. We literally had to keep a couple of the big old window weights laying in the seat. Yep.
Notice a lot of the tricycle gear ultralights are that way. They'll all tip up in the tail wheel, what they call a tail wheel, just a drag wheel.
Skid. Yeah.
But it'll always the nose will always be up in there if nobody's in it.
Yep. That's because they put the engine behind you on a lot of those as pushers. And hang on. Get here.
Yeah, to get the center of gravity right, you almost have to have that weight up there.
Okay. Good enough. Watch your time. Yep. Okay. Oh, she just but no, it's but they do that on the Quicksilvers and that, like the Flight Stars and that with the engine in the front generally don't do that. You sit further back. But on the pushers like the Quicks and those tend to sit on their tail. Challengers, anything with the pusher engines, they put you in.
That's
the
what I always
front
liked
one.
about the Thunder Gulls, especially the 2000, anything 2000 and beyond. They sit flat,
Mm-hmm.
even with a pusher.
I don't care if it sits flat. That don't matter to me. As long as it flies good. That's all I care about. And looks. Yep. It was like otherwise I'd be hosed with my parasol. It's a tail dragger.
Well, sitting flat's good if you're plane tied down and you're test running your engine. That's about it though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sit in it when I'm doing that, so it's on its nose anyway. I tied down my old Mirage, which used to sit on a tail like that, and I've tied that one down on a cross country when we had the gust front coming through. And you tie it down so it's on its wheels, on its nose, one in the front, one on each wing.
Yeah, if you don't, if you tie it down with it pointing up, it's going to get lifted.
It wants to. Oh, this one did anyway. We had such a gust front come through. It was in it was dry line. It wasn't even rain. It was just wind. I'm standing right next to the wingtip, and when this stuff hits, and it literally stretched the rope 6 inches to the wings. The whole airplane was 6 inches off the ground.
Wow.
I went in and jumped in the seat and pushed the stick forward so it'd stay on the ground until the gust front went through.
No, I mean, you have to active pilot your plane while it's tied down.
You got it. That was some serious wind. Yep.
Yeah, I still want my Thunder Gull.
I've seen
No matter
videos
what
of,
else I buy.
full-size aircraft doing that, being tied down and getting lifted.
Oh man, you got some real wind when that's happening. Yep.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I posted it was actually on one of these chats. I
Mhm.
shared a video of, I forget where it was. It was somewhere in the Caribbean, I think it was, but there was an airport and there was a jet blast that lifted a hangar completely off the ground.
Yeah.
And just blew it over.
It wouldn't have happened if the hangar door would have been closed, but having the door open like that.
Oh yeah.
Makes a parachute out of it. Yep.
Yep, it just lifted it right off its moorings and
Yeah,
knocked
they
a
used
couple
to-
planes over.
One of the ultralight places here in right on the river used to have what they call, I don't know if you ever heard of ultralock hangars. I call them ultra blowaways, because the way they're built, the roof tilts back, and it basically what happens is the doors roll in open rollers, so there's nothing capturing the rollers. And what would happen is the wind comes in. They pointed them to the west of all things. Big storm came through and hit real big gust front, lifted the roof. The door fell in on the plane, and the hanger went that way. It's like, wow, they lost 3 of them that way. Then they started cabling them down because the guy that owned the field wouldn't let you build anything else. And it was like, wow.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, paramotors don't do that. Yep,
It's hard to lift it. It's stuck in the back of your car.
that's true.
As long as it's in the wing bag, it's safe.
Yeah, if your paramotor's lifting without the wing hooked on, you got bigger problems.
Well, who was it that had one that, I think it was at Bad Apples. They had a storm and one of the trikes got loose and went down to the pond.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture. I saw that. That was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
That was
videos
a
of it. They
heck-
were chasing it.
That was a heck of a storm. That did a lot of damage. Those guys were holding easy ups down and trying to pull the ends down so their wings weren't getting soaked. And
I think there was guys that were flying easy ups there.
yeah, just about right. I did that at Oshkosh one year. We saved the beer tent. holding the tent down with one hand, the beer in the other hand. Beer me, I need another one. It was about a 45-minute storm, and we weren't losing the beer tent.
Well, you gotta have your priorities.
Oh yeah. Yep. So we just
Yeah,
sat
you
there.
can't lose the beer tent because after the storm, you got to have something to do when you can't fly.
July in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, it's warm enough. You don't care. Afterwards, just go change. You're not cold.
Go change, walk around the sun a little bit, you'll dry
Yep.
out.
Well, it was dark by the time it quit, but it's okay. Yep. Yeah, that was interesting.
All right, guys. I think I'm about done.
Yeah,
It's getting a little nippy here, and I'm gonna call it a night. So I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep,
Yeah.
I gotta get
A
up
bit
in the morning.
nipply, is it?
A little nipply, yeah.
Yep. Well, have a good one, Bob.
All right, see you guys later.
Yep,
Night,
take
Bob.
care. Yep.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie a couple cables down on this little heli, and then I'm gonna quit for the night myself because I gotta be up in the morning, go to work. Yuck. And I haul them with me and go down to our field and play with them for a little bit tomorrow if the weather